Welcome, weary travelers. I'm Cameron Holt. I'll be your dungeon master for the evening. I'm joined, as always, by the nearly incarcerated Arcana crew. Pose for your mugshots, Arcana crew. Excellent.
Was that good?
Those are all really good.
Okay.
That's a YouTube thumbnail if I ever smelled one.
Fuck yeah. Before we see how all of this goes down, we've got some announcements to get through. Some brief announcements, I would say. So I'm going to throw it over to Taylor. Talk about our sponsors.
We got it. Our sponsors for the evening, as always, are thegildedrogue.com. The Gilded Rogue is our good friend McCall, and they do clothes and just all the things you need to be a D&D nerd in your day-to-day life, and they're great, and we all have them, and you don't unless you do. You can go to thegildedrogue.com/collections slash Arcanarama, and that's where we are, because we're hosted there too. You can get our shirts and shit. And if you buy something there, they plant a tree, and the tree helps local areas, and they tell you all about the tree and its life and why it's there. So just go to thegildedrogue.com and buy
a forest of merch.
Our other sponsor, as always, is our local comic book shop, More Fun Comics and Games, who provide us with our giveaways, at least these giveaways. You could win the Wild Beyond the Witchlight if you're a follower and you don't currently live in Quebec. And big thanks to our local comic book shop, More Fun Comics and Games. Check out their website. They have like a place you can go play, like there's tournaments. It's just all around good times. Yeah, that's it. So learn how to win this from Cameron in a couple seconds.
That's me. I'll tell you soon. Check out Arcanaramashhow.com. It's our website. There's all kinds of fun stuff there. I think we're still getting some things updated currently. I forgot to touch base on if that happened.
The page is updated. I think some of the bios need to be updated.
Okay, cool.
So some of the character bios are going to be off.
Yeah, but everything else is great. There's links to a ton of stuff. It's kind of like our About section right here on Twitch. I don't have to do this anymore because I'm wearing a special new mic and I can bang on my table. I can do whatever I want, except for stand up and walk away.
Good luck pissing.
It's always difficult.
I'll just do it here. There's currently a survey on arcanaramashhow.com that would help us immensely if you would take the time to, and I know I sound like every drive-through person that you have ever experienced right now, but please take our survey. It would really help us out. There's a lot of questions about things that intrigue us and about like where the show can go, and we are actually looking at answers. It's anonymous. We'd prefer for it to be anonymous, even though there are some like write-in questions where you could tell us who you are, but we'd prefer if you didn't. For analytics' sake. You can get to the survey from here on Twitch by typing !survey in the chat. If you want to go and fill that out for us, I'll try and remember to do another reminder of that when we go to break and probably at the end of the stream. Because we want to make the show as good as we can for all of you. So please help. And tell your friends. Speaking of things that are good for you, we have not one, but two giveaways this year.
Oh my god.
Did you guys know about this?
I've never heard of this. Do we do that all the time?
Every Saturday.
Whoa.
Our second giveaway of this week is this beautiful set of handmade Fable Fire dice, the Dreams and Desires dice. You'll also be dice twins with Sam, who got a similar set as a Crimin gift. A Crimin gift.
Stop it.
During our holiday one shot.
Yeah.
I see the questions pouring in on Discord already. Yes, we are doing a dice giveaway tonight. And a mini giveaway. Twofer.
Also, we do a show, which is rad.
Yeah.
It's kind of
all
all
right.
that kind of like enveloped in there.
That's fine.
So, I will announce how to enter our first giveaway when we go to our break. We'll come back, I'll announce the winner, tell you how to enter the second giveaway, and then we'll announce the winner of that at the end of the stream. So stay tuned for the whole thing to find out if you get stuff.
Can I
Now.
have some stuff?
I mean, I gave you stuff for Christmas the last time we were here.
I got dice.
Oh, well, you just have to wait 1 year, and then you can get some more stuff.
Yeah. I do birthdays.
It's a year away, too.
Valentine's Day is next month. Anyway, it's time for a vibe check. So pick your favorite die if you're at the table, or you can type !vibe check in the chat, and the lovely Arcanarama bot will tell you how you did. Let's see.
Oh, I did.
Excellent.
Dog! I whispered, but I said fuck because it went far away. That's a 15 for me.
I tried out that new dice that you gave me. Guess what?
Why did I have that page saved? That's so long ago. Here
It's
we
the
go.
lowest number. it's a 1.
Ooh,
Oh, no.
Hell yeah. Feel good.
I got a tan.
nice.
Taylor
Again.
rolled that. No, I will. Like, I don't like to force it. I don't like to do like the I get to control fate by rolling.
Yeah, no, just do it one more time.
Yeah, see.
Okay.
Writing Cholula after Alma is weird because I want to put a H on it.
I do the same thing in my notes. Yeah.
Scarlet Chipotle.
I got a 5. So excellent vibes this evening. Let's see how the chat's doing. I cannot scroll, but I see that stream director Robbie got a 14.
Ooh.
Nice.
Butterfly got an 11. That's pretty good.
That's the age I lost my library card.
Lost it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't give an 11-year-old the library card.
Safari Fred got a 4. At least you didn't roll a 1. Sometimes a shambling mound eats you when you roll a 1. Also, welcome to the live stream. I don't know. I think you caught the Christmas one, but we're glad to have you for this one.
Hello.
Speaking of this one, with announcements accounted for, it's time for the Mistwalkers to answer some questions down at the station in tonight's episode
Of Arcanarama.
Oh, you got him.
Previously on Arcanarama, the Mistwalkers arrived on the outskirts of Waterdeep, but before heading into the city proper, the group decided to visit the grave of their fallen comrade, Ollie Ilno, in Undercliff. There, they had a chance encounter with their old friend and cohort, Renair Neverember, who was visiting the grave at the same time. He informed the party that he had taken over the efforts to rebuild their former tavern, and then left to give them space to grieve. As nice words were said over Ollie's grave, a spectral form of the fallen hero appeared as a semi-solid apparition from the Jewel of Detection in Olma's grasp. She informed the party that they had misinterpreted the Jewel's detections, and that it was in fact Silas's shadow setting off the glowing gem. Silas attempted to flee, but Ollie's expertise with javelin throwing managed to puncture the shadow with the staff of disentanglement. As the shadow formed into the shape of a large dragon, Silas initially intended to fight alongside it, but when the creature's indiscriminate attacks began to target Silas's own daughter, Olma, he stood beside his friends and reunited with their former party member, Ollie. The Mistwalkers vanquished the fragment of destruction and restored balance to Kavora. The party was able to share a few parting words with Ollie before she returned to her place in the afterlife, where a war is brewing among the gods. Finally, the Mistwalkers could return home to the nearly rebuilt Feast and Fountain Tavern for a much-needed rest and dinner. The meal was cut short, however, as a group of City Watch members, led by myself, Magister Barnabas Blastwind, arrived to place the heroes under arrest for suspicion in the disappearance of the Castellenter family and the murder of Lady Esvel Rosna. Will our heroes be able to talk their way out of a potential death sentence? Will they be forced to flee the city with a bounty on their heads? Who could have informed the City Watch of their involvement with Lady Rosna's death? Find out right now on Arcanarama.
Our story continues right where we left off. As the Mistwalkers are being led from the Feast and Fountain into the low light of the street lamps that line the sidewalks of the North Ward, Barnabas Blastwind and Sergeant Saith Cromley lead you through the winding streets as you're flanked by 6 armed members of the City Watch. What are each of you thinking and feeling in this moment as you're being walked towards an interrogation? We'll go in order of the vibe checks, starting with Cholula.
Okay. I'm thinking, how do they know? because I thought we took care of bodies. And I'm probably feeling kind of like looking at Renair. He's been here the whole time. How come he's just now getting arrested when we got back in town? Like, a little bit curious about that. But mostly just...
Cholula's doing what I, Cameron, am doing right now. Which is breathing.
Forgot.
Oh, I don't know if that was good for you.
Hey, that happens to me sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, am I breathing?
Thanks for reminding me.
Alma, what's going through Alma's mind?
Alma, I am still, even though I've reached out to everybody I can think of, and I'm running out of magical energy swiftly, I'm still trying to think, like, is there anybody in town who can vouch for us, help us out? Who else who am I forgetting about that can save our asses right now?
What names come to mind? Any?
Don't tell him.
I can think of two.
Like, what are some considerations of just like, people that you know in Waterdeep?
The very first one that I think to is Vajra, and then I realize, like, she's gonna be busy, and then she's gonna be mad, and then she's gonna make us stay there, and then she's gonna tell him, like, no, you know what? I think they are murderers.
Where were you? I was in prison.
And then I
was
think about
busy.
Mert. Not necessarily because I think he would be like a good voucher for us, but because I think he would have ears on the inside
He's
if we
connected.
needed them. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Silas?
You said it. Took the words right out of my mouth.
For any first-time viewers, get used to it.
Yeah. If your stomach turns from this, just... I'm sorry.
Then let out a little burp. It'll feel better. Stop holding him in.
I think Silas he's a bit worried, but we're not in shackles. We're just kind of walking
Correct.
with him. I think he's a bit worried, but there's a little part of him that's like, is there a prison that can hold Silas Wilford Bramble? There's kind of a bit of excitement about it, but also just trying to remember that night after, leaving pretty soon after, then having a whirlwind adventure in Mistanoir. You can find it on YouTube. It's like it wasn't on his mind. He killed someone that tried to kill him, and then he went and saved the world. This is petty. This is a parking ticket.
Interesting. Make a quick history check.
It's dice. You got me?
Mm-hmm.
Sucks. It's,
That's for me.
it's a 7.
I did make it, though. 7. Yeah. That's exactly how you remember it, is exactly how it went down.
Okay.
After you've all traveled a few blocks, you turn at the corner of Delzorn Street and Bronder's Way to see a number of figures walking towards your group. In the lead is a handsome human man, probably in his mid-30s, with short reddish-brown hair parted on the left side. He's got tattoos of tapered lines horizontally across his cheekbones that have a slight kind of downward curl on the outside. There's one mark on the left and 2 stacked above one another on the right side. They seem to lightly glow with like a dim golden light on his face, kind of just softly illuminating it. He's wearing a black cloak with green trim down the front, very similar to the outfit that Magister Blastwind is wearing. Next to the mysterious Magister is a familiar face. Skin of literal obsidian glistens in the moonlight, marked with golden scars on the jaw, cheeks, and a few atop her bald head. She wears dark leather armor with green and yellow accents, and a golden badge of the City Watch with this kind of like crescent moon with the 2 points upward atop a kind of dagger-like 4-pointed star. Behind the Magister and Felspet Etchplane are 6 more members of the City Watch. Sergeant Cromley, who is kind of leading the way with Blastwind in front of you, immediately stands at attention and salutes. Captain. The rest of the watch that are flanking you also do so at kind of like a slight delay before Felspa speaks. At ease, Sergeant. Cromley and his men relax a bit, but there's clear confusion across all of them. Barnabas speaks up.
Good evening, Magister Twinborn. What brings you to this side of town?
The human man holds himself with a very straight posture and a much less rigid voice. Business, I'm afraid, Magister Blastwind. He reaches into his sleeve and reveals a scrolled paper before handing it to Barnabas. The Masked Lords have concluded that since the bodies were found within the Sea Ward, the case is under my jurisdiction. You are to relinquish custody of the suspects to me, so that myself and my associates might get back to the bottom of this mystery and hold trial before a committee of Masked Lords. There's a brief pause as Barnabas Blastwind reads over the scroll before he quickly rolls it up.
Well then, I wish you luck in your endeavors. The suspects joined us willingly, and as such have not been restrained in any way.
And this other Magister Twinborn looks over all of you.
Understandable.
Do you remain willing participants?
Yes.
Yeah, as long as we change hands at least 2 more times before we get to the station, I think we'll be good.
I can make no promises about that. Please do come with us, Master Blastwind. Sergeant Cromley, you are dismissed. And
Let's just see you two again.
Yes, and you as well.
and there's like this moment of like,
Do they look?
make an insight check.
I'm gonna like.
Do
hold
they
up.
look?
I'm gonna.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, like, is this alarming to them, or are they just kind of peeved that they lost?
Checking us out. I hold up my hands at them, like.
Does
One of them shoots you with a gun.
can I?
What?
I'd like to see if I can glean anything from Etchplane's face.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna see if I can make eye contact with.
Okay, so yeah, insight on Edgeplane and insight on the old homies.
Barnabas.
Yeah. You're on Blastwind and Friends or Edgeplane?
Etchplane.
Okay,
I wanted to shoot a look.
25.
25. I'm gonna say Silas roll with advantage. Old partners.
Did you just roll it?
I rolled 2 natural 20s. I rolled a nat 20 and you're like, roll with advantage. Like, sure. But it ran into it, like, knocked it out. But that was there. I swear to you.
Damn.
Excellent. Excellent work.
That one's for you, some.
Cameron
other
recently
guy.
told me that odds like that are 1 in 400, and I was like, you've played with our group long enough now.
Yeah.
You know how many birds I kill every day? I'm like a cat.
Yeah, fun fact though, yeah, that's a correct statistic. It is a 1 in 400 chance of that happening. Let's get to the others first. Alma, what did you roll?
25.
25. Yeah, you notice that there is confusion and a little bit of agitation to Blastwind.
Is
From-
it kind of like, oh, you're stealing my case, or is it like, what is all this?
Seems like a little bit of both. And
Competition.
Sergeant Cromley looks relieved.
Okay.
He seems very tired, and you get the sense that he's probably been involved in probably the brunt of the actual investigating that's been going on. You know that magisters are kind of just like judges, basically. They can dole out sentences on the street.
Okay.
But Sergeant Cromley is an officer of the City Watch, and as far as you know, does his job to the best of his ability. What did Cholula roll?
7.
7.
Yeah.
I would say that with a 7, it's less that you can't read Etchplane, and it's more that you're kind of distracted and also noticing what Alma's noticing about the other crew. As there's like a brief pause before they retract. And the Magister kind of like lingers for just a moment longer than everyone else, but eventually does concede and starts walking away. Silas, double natural 20s on two big naturals
Big
against Felspa Etchplane.
Big honkin' bounces.
Do you want should I just bring you the Yes They're Natural shirt with the bunnies on it?
Yeah.
You see there's almost unnoticeable to probably anyone else, but you, especially after having gotten the majority of your memories back, you know Detective Felspa Etchplane. You worked together as spies for the Harpers for a very long period of time. And there's a hint of a smirk. You get the sense that she is very pleased with this power play that she was able to use. Also on a natural 20, you realize that the last time you met her, she was Detective Felspa Etchplane. She is now Captain Felspa Etchplane. Also on a natural 20, you get the slightest glimpse of just the little metal pin that is, like, the small bar is all that you can see, but you know that to be her Harper pin on the inside of her lapel.
Yeah. I'll take that as like kind of like mocking the other officers and then looking at Felspa and like kind of just pushing that part of my lapel.
Yeah, she gives like a faint nod. And as you join up with Felspa Etchplane and get a decent, like a couple of blocks away, walking through the streets, she kind of steps back a bit and addresses all of you. Well, this is quite a pickle you've gotten yourselves into.
I suppose.
I do have some information that I can share as we're on our way. Unfortunately, if your plan is to flee, we will have to resist that. Public spaces and all that. And charges. However, I can share with you some information, and we have got a few things working in our corner. Apparently, the City Watch received an anonymous tip that Lady Rosnar was not missing, but dead, and to search her recently acquired tower in the Sea Ward. The tip was anonymous. We don't know who sent it in. It was an unsigned note with no matching records of handwriting. Could not be identified. Upon investigating, the Watch discovered the tunnel below the tower, as well as the word Oranax, which had been scrawled on the stone in blood. There was a lot of blood at the scene. When read aloud, it opened the doors to a vault, these large adamantine doors, as I understand it, wherein the mostly intact bodies of Lady Esvel Rosnar and multiple other unknown humans were found. They were partially devoured, but unfortunately for all of you, with the help of a cleric of the Dark Light, Lady Rosnar's half-eaten corpse was questioned, along with a few of the other partially devoured masked figures. Her mouth remained, and so the body could speak. They gave descriptions of those who killed them, but remained dodgy to questions regarding what they were doing in the vault to begin with, although it was strange that Rosnar would be dodgy about this particular question, as she owned the building where the vault resided. But she did not claim ownership of the vault during questioning. It was odd. The descriptions given matched those of yourselves and your party, as well as descriptions given by witnesses that saw the same figures sneaking out the window of the tower on the night of the Lady Esvel's death. We cannot, unfortunately, simply clear you without a trial due to the quickly mounting evidence, but the Harpers can help in a few ways. Currently, we are on our way to not a private interrogation room, but to a courtroom in the castle ward. We will have a brief stop in an interrogation room, so you can get your stories straight. And then you will be brought before a selection of masked lords to plead your case. The cleric of the court is in the Harper's pocket, thankfully. So, lying will be an option if necessary, and if all goes well, Mass Lords will believe that you are unable to do so. So, if there's anything that you do need to lie about, do so at your own discretion, I should say. Do you have any questions for me about any of this?
Have you gotten anywhere on the Black Rain?
Not quite. Things have gone eerily quiet. There was a brief attack by the Silver Stake. We have mostly deduced that seemingly a lot of the interactions that were being experienced between Silver Stake and Black Rain members on the streets and the growing violence that accompanied them seemed oddly staged. It seemed like some sort of attempt by the Stake themselves to perhaps divert the attention of the City Watch for this incursion that they were planning.
Did they find Black Rain masks amongst the bodies?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Anything in the manor?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, they did. A number of them. There was actually a pile of equipment, masks, a couple of silver pieces, some copper, short swords, hand crossbows, things of that nature.
I guess when we get to the interrogation room, we can run over what you think would work.
Right.
It's not going to be lies. I'm going to be telling mostly the truth. Like, it's going to be, we were there to get Renee's belongings, and
Of course.
the Black Rain got in the way.
Lady Esvel was connected with the Black Rain.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Another
information that we
noble
didn't have.
that-
We were familiar with the types of masks used. Similar masks were worn by the Silver Stake members that attacked the city, attacked Galen's Folly.
We have.
But now that you mention it, the ones that were found in the vault didn't have any gold to them. All of the Silver Stake masks seem to have these golden stripes denoting rank or something.
Rank, for sure. It's rare to get a 4 or 5 stripe, apparently.
Yes, the ones that we found in the vault only had the black streaks like tears coming from the eyes.
It could be a subsect.
Interesting.
We've confirmed other nobles, other than Lady Esville Rosna, that are also members. And apparently it was at least a widely spread group, which is why we're hesitant amongst the courts.
Right. A group, a room of masked figures doesn't really bode well for us talking shit about the Black Rain.
Of course. Well, I've given you all of the information that I was able to get my hands on, but I was not directly, until recently, I was not directly involved in this particular case. It was mostly Cromley's crew doing the investigation. I know that there are documents that I didn't get my hands on, bits of evidence that I am not aware of. I take it you're either aware of them or at least based on your plan to speak most of the truth, it shouldn't be anything too damning.
The truth is, I know it. I mean, it looks bad on paper for sure, but we just have to convince others that the Black Rain was involved. Because they were.
That would be a good start. Continuing to walk, there's a moment of silence as you hear just kind of the regular sounds of the hustle and bustle of Waterdeep, even at this kind of later hour, because it's getting into early evening. The sun has been down for a little bit. But there are still horses and carts going along the streets, and occasionally like small packs of dogs will run out of an alleyway and into another. Sometimes just some random unattended children are around.
Always those children.
Yeah. But everyone kind of gives you a pretty wide berth thanks to this entourage of City Watch that is escorting you, and a magister, no less. Eventually, You arrive at a familiar building in the castle ward. It is the same courthouse where you met with the tiefling magister Silmerhelv to transfer ownership of the Feast and Fountain from Volo, back when it was just Trollskull Manor. Stepping into the dark wooden interior, low-burning arcane light gives the room a warm tone. Magister Twinborn leads you to his office, which is kind of a 10-foot by 10-foot square room. But the only thing that leads you to believe that it is a room, however, is the fact that there's wooden trim and baseboards bordering the walls. The walls themselves are covered in an enchanted painting that looks like you've stepped within a bamboo forest, and there's white tufts of pampas grass, just kind of like blowing in an unfelt breeze around you. Oddly out of place in not the center of the room, but kind of like towards the wall. There's a desk and a number of chairs for each of you. Most of the City Watch guards stay outside. Some of them split off when you arrive at the courthouse. And those that do come with you, 2 of them post up outside the door. None of them actually enter the office because of confidentiality. So, the Magister takes his seat behind the desk and motions towards the chairs for the rest of you. Edgeplane enters as well.
Well, I would take this time to get your story straight then.
It's not really going to be. I mean, from what I remember, we were helping Renair recover his property from his property, right?
Yes.
Like, the vault was his, and we went down there to get something out of there with him.
Oh yes,
And then we
Renair
were-
also is here, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. He's been very quiet and pensive during all of this.
What does Renair's face look like when Silas says that?
He kind of like lifts his head and cocks an eyebrow.
Well, technically, it was my father's vault filled with money that he had stolen from the city,
Right.
It
which
doesn't matter what's in it.
all of us here in this room are aware has been reallocated.
Right, but
Yes.
your father's vault is not. Your last name. You are a noble, correct?
Yes,
I mean,
I'm a
the
lord.
god
As are you.
felt that you were partially in charge of what was found within because of your association with your father.
This
The
is
vault,
true.
The vault carries your last name, right? Like,
No, it is simply referred to as the Vault of Dragons.
no, I mean, but it's yours. That's what we were doing. We were going to get the property that your father was
It's-
trying to give to us.
It was something so secretive that my father hid the information even from himself.
Right.
He had his mind altered so that he could not know its whereabouts without the Stone of Galore.
But you did say that he was sending the stone to us with the fellow that got exploded outside of our tavern.
Yes, Dalakar.
So we were going to get that, and then we were trapped and threatened with our lives. We were.
We were.
We were threatened with our lives.
Why are we all looking at
Make
each other
deception
weird?
checks.
That's true.
I'm not making a deception check. We were threatened with
Actually,
our lives.
first-
We did choose to walk away, but we
First-
were threatened with our lives.
Okay.
That's not hearsay.
Okay, so
was-
you guys know what happened then.
Yeah.
You recall how it went down. For those
Lady
of you,
Esvel was basically like, let me steal this shit or we're gonna kill all of you. And that's a threat and also stealing. So
And so we were like,
Basically,
let's
yeah.
give her
She was in the
fake
rock.
yeah,
keys.
you don't need to make a deception check. But yeah, just so that our viewers at home are aware, for those who either maybe are not caught up or this was a long time ago.
or would have
Robbie-
had to rewatch
like-
like we did.
Yeah, it's like
Robbie,
episode
just pipe in
13.
episode
And then have
11.
the-
Just put it on.
meeting.
Type in episodes 11 through 13. When you guys exited the vault, Lady Rosnar and her Black Rain baddies were there waiting for you and were basically like, leave the keys and fuck off. You can keep whatever's in your pockets. And you guys did, and you went up the stairs because you also like tried to quietly close the door behind you.
Yeah, we thought that they wouldn't have a way in. So we're like, cool, if they'll let us leave and still not be able to steal. But then we realized that they found out how to get in.
We
so.
gave her fake keys
Right.
as well.
So yeah, and it was news to you guys what Etchplane said about Aranox being scrawled in blood on the floor. That was something that none of you witnessed happen, and yeah, also news to you that the bodies are still around, because basically how that went down was
Aranox
you
was supposed to take care
dragged
of
the bodies into the vault, and we're like, "You got this, Aranox," and he was like, "I got this." And then you came back and you were like, "You got it, right?" And he was like, "Oh, my tummy hurts, but let's go."
We should have covered him in gems. He fucking loved gems.
We didn't know he was like human intolerant.
Yeah, and yeah, you guys tried to using Alma's ghosty whispers and various other tactics, tried to keep Lady Rosnar from hearing the word Aranox as you closed the door behind you. But there were also 5 other dudes there who were not being distracted, and one of them seemed to overhear. So when you made it back to the top of the stairs, heard the vault doors opening, you turned back around and led the assault. Technically.
Yeah, of people who were either let us steal this or we'll kill you, and we thought
We were threatened with our lives.
I'm not saying that you guys didn't have the moral high ground.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm about to play some lawyers.
yeah, right. And
We were threatened with our lives.
Which
So
actually brings a good
fought.
point. As you're kind of explaining this whole scenario, because Etchplane, even Renair wasn't present for any of this.
No. I believe he was upstairs.
And yeah, Renair gives his side of the story, which is that he, and he knows that he's in good company, so he gives the actual truth here. And he's like, yes, any advice that you have on how to dress this bit up? I came to Lady Rosnar on behalf of your business, Feast and Fountain, looking for a salt merchant. And
Well, she got assault.
yes,
Am
well,
I right?
Oh, that's bad for us.
Just got to get it out of my system.
it's like a bit of a twinge, the Magister Twinborn.
It's real bad for us. Okay? We're not going to do that.
Hey, fuck her. She was the worst, by the way, like from the get-go.
But then I left the premises. I received a couple of messages during our interaction, which were very confusing for me, and I panicked a little bit. But ultimately, I made it out okay. And the next thing I knew... What was the next thing he knew? It was...
we hit him up to meet us at Castellanter Villa
That's right.
to fill him in.
That's right. So yeah, the next thing I knew, I was at Castellanter Villa, which also is part of this, by the way, that we need to talk about. I did smuggle the Castellanter family out of the city. So that's... I feel like we're good on that.
Right.
They, I mean...
You smuggled them out alive.
Correct. As one
Living.
whose own family can attest to, they did their own business with their own brains, and I helped them fuck off to Gold Run. So they're, I don't know where they, ended up going from Gold Run, but they're currently, as far as I know, in Vasica.
Yes, Alma tried to message Castellanter and he responded, so he's alive, but of course he's like, I don't know you, because he modified his own memory.
But the fact that
Right.
you used
That's-
Castellanter as your sending, right? That's a thing.
Right. So if
Didn't go to the wrong address.
if Castellanter, and am I to understand you've returned to Winfell, was the situation handled?
Yes, we were hoping to sort of reconnect and, help him to get his memories back, because there's no threat any longer.
That is excellent news. That could be a game changer. Yes, for the first charges. Absolutely.
You might have noticed that there's a little bit less Silver Stake activity as well.
Well, yes, I mean, most of their numbers were culled during their attempted overthrow of...
Well,
city.
because they thought that they would have an army of demons and whatnot to help with their overthrown plans, but the army did not arise.
That was your doing.
Sort of. We were there, yes.
But yeah, I punched the back of some horrible being from another realm.
Renair he leans back and really takes you guys in again not for the first time, but gives you
We've
like
changed.
You have changed. Alma has changed a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, Silas, you've also changed. Your shadow is behaving like a normal shadow, because it is just that now. And Yeah, Cholula, you've gotten beefier.
Beefy.
Put on some muscle. And yeah, and also you guys have like a shit ton more stuff on you. So yeah, he just kind of like takes you in, and it's just like very like proud older brother moment of like they're doing it. And then he remembers the situation that he's in currently.
So when did they? Who can I ask? Do we know who acquired the tower, and when did they go down there?
Well, the tower was not acquired. It stands abandoned as it is. It was cordoned off as a crime scene after the crime scene was discovered.
Oh, I thought you said that an anonymous tip came in after the tower was newly acquired.
No. Is that what I said?
Yes,
Well, I
but
didn't
you may
say.
have missed
I
it.
didn't say anything. That was Etchplane. He's like, I don't think that's what I said. I'm pretty sure I said the City Watch received an anonymous tip that Lady Rosnar was not missing but dead, and to search her recently acquired tower.
Recently acquired tower.
The
That
tower
she-
that she had recently acquired.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, that was a phrasing
Okay.
issue on my side.
kind of
That's.
I'll try to be
that's-
more clear in the future.
Order of adjectives, as it were.
It's both of us. It's fine.
Well, as it is, no, we do not know who called that in. It was an anonymous tip.
It doesn't
Right.
matter. What we have is what we did. If they have enough
Right.
mounting evidence on that, then we own up to that. But with the thing that they don't know, which is that she was involved with the Black Rain. If not, if I remember correctly, was coordinating meetings. If I'm not
Well,
mistaken.
and there's one other noble that we know was involved as well.
A
and
couple others. The way Castellanta put it was
we only have names for
a string of influence.
a few, but who else? I mean, who knows who else could be involved and could
Lord-
be involved in this?
Lord
investigation?
Crassalanther is involved in the Black Rain as well.
It
It
was
was Tercio. He was trying to save his children. He knew that they were bad, but he was trying to save his children.
leading
That's
to
a
the whole
whole other
situation
fucking-
with the hag.
Twinborn takes a deep breath, and he's kind of like, "Right, that's a trial for another time."
Yes,
You can
yes.
find it all on YouTube.
Here, hold on. I've got a thing I found here. That's our own stone of
This should
glory.
clear it up. Watch this crystal. Well, if you feel prepared, has the detective? I wasn't. I was a ways ahead, not quite listening in. Has she informed you of how this trial is going to work?
No.
I don't think we got the structure.
Right. Well, it's as is the case with most trials revolving around crimes against nobles. It is high profile, and as such, your it's not like a normal trial would go, where you'd be brought before someone like me, a Magister, a Black Cloak, to pass down sentence. Because this is involving the death of one of a noble house, you're going to be brought before a court, essentially, of masked lords. This is where our reach as an organization. He kind of like looks knowingly between you and Etchplane and Silas. No one knows the identities of the masked lords. It is the crux of their existence. They don't even know each other. So, we don't know who is going to be passing the sentence. Is there a possibility that one of them potentially could be involved in the Black Rain? That's a possibility. Is there a possibility that one of them is potentially a harbour? That is also a possibility. It is probably the only organization in all of Windfell, maybe even all of Kavora, that is more secretive even than the harbours. If a harbour were to be a masked lord, that is information they would keep to themselves for their own safety.
Do we get any sort of representation, or we just go in and we're all talking at the same time?
You'll be representing yourselves. I would suggest you choose one of you to do the speaking so that things are a bit more clear. It's part of the reason that we brought you here, to kind of get your story straight and make a decision on who's going to be presenting for you.
Right.
Myself and Captain Etchplane will be present, but we will not have
speaking role other than delivering you to the court and perhaps escorting you out of.
As far as the weight of crimes against a noble, do you think they'll take into account the crimes between that noble and the other three?
Is the crimes of a civilian
I think
towards a noble any different than a noble killing a noble?
no.
Just checking.
However, I do think that because your cause was in the interest of the city, that will hold some sway.
Renee's Vault, the Black Rain,
I don't.
Castellantas.
If you can be convincing and support your arguments with evidence, solid, reliable evidence.
Well, we'll be under zone of truth, correct?
Right. He winks as he says that.
But also, what fucking
far
evidence
as-
would we have?
Is he into me?
Months?
As far as
late?
they are concerned, yes. Evidence that can be looked into or backed up. It could prolong the trial, and you would be potentially held as these matters are looked into.
Sounds thrilling.
Renee,
Does
is
that-
there documentation of the money which you've redistributed to the people of Waterdeep?
There have been a number of anonymous donations made through the Harpers. We're not really an out in the open kind of.
Right.
You don't have
There's
a
no
log
log?
of that sort of
I'm sure that
stuff?
there are ledgers. I was not in charge. I basically handed off the wealth to Mert, and he handled the redistribution.
Right.
Right.
It was above my my.
But it's something that may be able to be retrieved.
Money of that
Potential-
size doesn't go unnoticed.
And the Black Rain
Right.
masks being with the bodies is at least physical proof that physical evidence that they were part of that order.
That's true.
Right, and having the word of Castellanter would be immensely helpful to your situation.
And also
Yes,
questioning motive as well. What would just break into someone's house and kill them and then go into a vault? That seems a bit wild.
Robberies happen all the time.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Does that seem about right? Like that we would just pick a random noble and do that? I think
Well, there's no telling it. I mean,
Well, but-
in their mind, you could have been staking out the place, making a plan. It could have been a planned heist.
Your status
saying,
alone
but-
could help our
yeah,
case.
I'm
That is
saying-
true. Having 4 nobles among your number is definitely working in your favour.
Or
Yes, Lord Neverember and Lord and Lady, Lady Bramble and Lord Wilfred Bramble.
that's 3.
That's 3.
Right, I miscounted.
Okay.
I was going to say, did we just learn
Like,
something?
I don't think I've been awarded anything.
I was thinking you're playing one, I'm playing one, and Renee's here.
Renee, don't look at me like that. You'll get on
Like
streams.
just off.
Welcome our guest for the evening, Renee Neverember in the flesh.
Wonderful hair.
I think, based on what you've told me here and my experience as a judge, a magister in the city, I think the likelihood of a death sentence is lessened. Potential of getting off with banishment for a number of years, perhaps indefinitely, more likely. Probably the most likely scenario. Getting off scot-free and continuing your lives in the city, maybe 6%.
Do they ever do anything like
Community service is probably out of the question if that's where you're going with that.
sort of, but as far as
Oh, I don't think you'll be getting by with a fine, if that's what you're...
No, I meant as far as this Black Rain situation and other mysteries not pertaining to us that arise from this case that we could help solving.
Well, we would be kind of tampering with evidence, as it were, right?
I mean, past the case.
I think the idea that you'd be involved in any investigations is probably slim, other than perhaps being called in as witnesses down the line. But, I mean, of course, if you're banished from the city, you can't very well act as a witness.
So you're saying this group of people behind masks, right? I mean, really, who knows who they are?
Right.
They kind of run this judicial system, right? They kind of oversee it. They make judicial decisions, right?
Portions of it, yes.
And they're going to take our work,
Right.
everything that we did for the city, and profit off of it. And we're supposed to stand by and do nothing about it.
That's the long and short of it. You might be able to get them walk it back if you can, I don't know, look into, where they make their revenue.
I want to see their faces. One and one.
I think that would maybe add some more charges to our...
Right, I would not recommend unmasking a masked lord during a trial. It's,
Yeah, don't want to poke the bear.
As
Right.
far as banishment goes, is that sort of a immediately an effect thing? Are we allowed a day or two to
I would
say
imagine.
goodbyes?
I would imagine you'd be given at least a day, maybe maximum 3 days to get your
Right.
affairs in order and make your exit.
And then as far as worldly goings on, in which Waterdeep might be called upon for help, are we allowed to send letters?
Of course, banishment only means you are not allowed to set foot inside the city.
Right. Okay.
Doing so and basically negging on your... That's not the word. Oh my god, all the words left my brain.
Except for those.
If you were to go against your banishment orders and return to the city, it would be seen as high treason and you'd be put to death on the spot.
Yeah, for sure. But let's say hypothetically something very bad is going on in Chill Run and we are trying to collect help outside,
Right,
we'd
if
be
you
able
have
to
allies,
send a letter saying, hey, just so you know.
of course, letters would still be
Right.
allowed in.
Okay.
And
okay.
they have outlawed, I'm sure if you noticed, distinct missing,
birds.
missing note of wrinkling paper flaps in the wind on your way in. Paper birds have been outlawed because they were being used to track down a lot of officials.
We mostly use them to make sure someone's still alive.
That's true.
That
I
is
was going
a
to
good for them.
suggest they could send out a paper bird to cast a lantern and watch that it flies and doesn't disappear, but
Right.
They can say nothing. You could just put like a line on it.
What is
See?
the charge for using a paper bird?
It would be negligible, a
Do
fine.
you happen to have any on you?
yes, I do.
Do you mind if I have it?
I'd rather you not send it from
I'm
our
not-
own office,
I'm not sending it,
right?
but do you mind if I have
Is
it?
there going to be like a big case-breaking moment?
Yeah.
So like, see?
Yes.
That's kind of
Watch as I commit a crime in court.
I don't give a
And then you just
I
throw
got
5
one,
gold
so
coins over your
they're about
shoulder.
crime.
Here's your fine, bitch. No, I love it. Yeah.
Let's.
Can we do like worst case for Silas's sake? Let's say we're put to death. Silas doesn't die. Just gonna throw that out there. What's the?
You can't. You're impervious to death.
I'm saying the sentence. I say
Right.
Silas
So
doesn't.
if they decide that, if the masked members are also other masked members and they decide that we should die, and we say, fuck that, and we leave, they just continuously send people after us? Is that how that works?
Well, escaping from the courtroom would be quite a feat in itself.
Right.
Myself and Detective Etchplane, though we are in your
Captain,
corner.
actually.
Captain Etchplane, forgive me. She's like, quite right.
Congratulations, Adam.
Yeah.
Good work.
Thank you.
Well earned.
It's been a long time coming, honestly.
This
I know.
courtroom. Just out of curiosity. No, they cast Zone of Truth on you in that courtroom.
So if they put you to
Right, you will be
death-
put in anti-magic manacles, though
That's not
that only pertains to Lady Bramble, who's the only registered magical caster in your group.
within the city.
I don't.
We'll be placing those on you before we leave this
I don't
chamber.
use
I'm sorry.
magics.
So
Can't
If
they be
they-
fake anti-magic?
if the sentence
afraid
is if the sentence is death, they just do it right there in the courtroom?
No, you'd be taken away and placed in a holding cell until the time of your public execution.
Right,
Most
okay.
likely beheading would take place.
And you would be taking us to said holding cell.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was just about to get to, which is that though myself and Captain Etchplane are in your corner, we are publicly facing a Magister of Waterdeep and the Captain of the City Watch.
And we don't hold that against you.
Of course, it took both of us quite a bit of work to get to where we are today, and charming as you all are, neither of us is going to throw that away for the three of you.
For sure.
We wouldn't expect you to.
Should be like
However,
a feigned
if one of us,
escape.
were to accidentally forget to lock the cell, or
knock one of you out, for sure.
you'd have to actually do that. Good
I'd
luck.
love to. No offense. It's
Hopefully, it doesn't come to that.
Right, I'm just getting ready for, whatever sentencing they might choose because we don't know who
Right.
is
I
there.
like it if we could try and focus on that 6% chance.
Right.
Who's speaking? I'm rather good at lying.
Are you?
Yeah, I have a +10 to deception.
But we're not lying.
I know, I'm just saying.
A pigeon carrying a brick flies into the window.
See?
How's your persuasion? +0.
Yeah, my persuasion's horrible. One of the things I took a couple levels ago was just pure deception.
It might not appear that way, but I am a fairly good public speaker these days.
Well, I mean, it's between you
It's
two, of
pretty
course.
hard.
Should I think
I mean,
these...
we don't have to pick just one of us.
No, I'm
true.
saying that they were kind of like made honorary members, so we can kind of speak loosely here and all. I
Are you
was
speaking with? Are you talking at? Who are you talking at?
Didn't he make kind of note
Yes.
of all that? Yeah, pretty much any one of the two. But I was tasked with finding out more about the Black Rain's weapon. Would that be something that could be brought up, or is that more under the lapel kind of?
That's more under the lapel.
Could it be mentioned at all? Did
I would
we
leave
have
that-
hard evidence that the weapon was written down? Do we have notes of any sort?
As far as I know, that's about all that we have is writings about some sort of weapon and a reference to a prophecy, but the prophecy itself is not listed.
I'll leave it out then.
I'll leave it at your discretion.
No,
That may be helpful, may be a hindrance.
we'll see.
Excuse me, I'm going through it over here.
I think our best option is to just tell the truth of what we were doing down there, what we came out to,
And what happened? Like we funded things in the city, right? Mm-hmm. Taylor kind
and
of slipped into that.
having
It was
to
weird.
help Castellanta to get out the reason that we had to just leave so suddenly.
And then big boom piece of paper.
Right. It would
Right.
be. In terms of remaining in operation, it would be detrimental to a Harper to announce themselves as such. However, if it's the choice between that or death, the Harpers are a known organization within the city. It's more the members that are secret, but those who know of us know that we aim to bring justice for all and put tyranny down.
That'll be my last card. I'll bring out that I was on assignment. I'll say that I was a Harper assigned to find out what their weapon was, and that this was kind of long extended contingency of that case. I'll remove my
Yes.
pen.
But I think the whole story with the stone and the black rain and the hag And everything that happened, I feel is important for them to know.
I mean, in the purview of the court, they don't really give a shit about what happened in Mistral. They're going to be concerned with the crimes themselves.
Right, most of those things started here.
Yes.
Yes, and that's
But
why
if we're like, and then we went to Mistral, so they don't give a fuck about that. They
Right.
want to know all of
I mean,
those
they'd want
things.
to know why we all suddenly disappeared right after.
For sure, and we can mention that we
happened.
have credentials and,
Right.
evidence that we were over there, but they're not going to want to hear all those exploits.
I mean, maybe they would.
If
Maybe they would
if
think,
would
wow,
like
these
to.
people are incredibly cool. We
So-
should let them live and stay in Waterdeep.
For sure. Can I take my umbrella? It's just an umbrella.
I can see the runes on it from here.
They do look a lot like ruins, don't they?
Why would you need that in there?
All of your weapons and magical items and belongings will be left in this office
It's an umbrella.
before you're transferred
Who
into the
could,
courtroom.
who could make an umbrella a weapon? It's more of a shield.
There are birds made of paper that fly through the skies carrying messages.
Not weapons. Unless you consider a paper cutter weapon, I use humor because
Some would say that the pen is more powerful than the
Oh,
sword
come
in
on.
most situations, but
Right, yes, no, I was just feeling a bit of the pressure and I'm trying to use humor to diffuse it. My apologies.
right. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to need you to leave all of your belongings here. So, if you'd like to go ahead, if you're prepared, go ahead, and you don't have to like disrobe or anything, but just leave your shit, and we'll take you when it's time.
Would disrobing help?
No.
See, the humor thing isn't.
Well,
really
I mean,
going.
again, we don't know who the Master Lords are. Potentially,
I'm fit.
maybe, maybe pop a button if you need to. If you feel like it's going to help read the rune,
Just kind of squeeze them together. The manacles.
make them bounce.
Look at that. Oh, I couldn't possibly have done that.
I'll just hand over my bag, the whole thing.
Yeah,
That
you do
seems
so.
like the smartest way to.
Yeah, for sake of ease, for you guys,
I'll make her do it.
all your weapons, all your kitchen knives and cooking utensils.
Can I put all of it into my bag of holding so people can't take my shit?
Absolutely.
Okay, I will do that.
Oh yeah, can I put my bag in her bag of holding?
My
No.
brain went no.
No.
No, my
No,
bag
hers is a
the
regular
of
bag.
holding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, can I set off an atomic bomb?
Yeah, just do that real fast.
That's.
I don't want to go to
I
court.
found a way to
about
get
this?
us out of this.
Yeah, I guess I do have one thing that I can't put into my bag of holding.
What is it?
A portable hole.
Just roll it up like a taco.
Yeah, which
like a
just
hole.
it's just like a folded bit of
Has
silk.
it the whole time?
Uh huh.
Cool.
Oh, I guess I won't be making it to court
Why?
because I'm a weapon.
Silas.
Is that? That's pretty good.
Edgeplane walks over and takes your
I'd like
bag
to
of
be
holding
sentenced
off.
to death.
Takes your umbrella. Yeah, you guys are going into this.
Nude.
Yep.
I was
All
gonna
three of us.
I was gonna say common clothes alone. All right.
So we're letting Alma take point, right?
Could we exchange numbers? I know I did it kind of as a goof and it was deception, and I don't plan on like super lying, but would it be too over the table meta to exchange?
No.
numbers?
You've been
I have-
traveling with one another. You've experienced
I
your
have-
different skills.
+9 to persuasion.
Oh fuck!
and
You go.
+4 to deception.
No, fuck me. Don't let me talk at all.
Or do you, wait,
Don't let me talk.
Well, the +4 to deception is a stark difference.
We only have a small amount of deception that we're doing, right?
if at all.
That's hey, how many times have you guys made a plan? And how many times have
Yeah.
not
I
all
mean,
things been accounted for?
I consider her threat to us to like leave or die as like cause for fight.
Right.
Yeah.
And can you prove that she said that?
I don't know.
We were outnumbered.
If
Under
I
the
guess
ground.
that
Well, I
depends
presume
on
they
how
still
there's-
have her body and could talk to her.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, it depends on how they feel about their own zone of truth, I guess.
Oh,
It's also true.
fuck.
Or whether or not they are privy to what may or may not go down.
Do you willingly fail a zone of truth? Like
Yeah.
if someone's like, zone of truth, you can just like, yeah, like, do that.
Yeah, you can willingly fail any save.
I coughed yesterday and peed a little bit. Does that work for you? Masked lords?
I'm farting.
It was me. I did the arm thing in front of the camera like Robbie told me not to.
All right. As you evacuate yourselves of your belongings. This is why I write everything down. You are led by Magister Twinborn and flanked by by Captain Etchplane. It's gonna take me forever to get used
Did they
to.
already put me in the stupid things?
Yes, they placed Alma in some anti-magic manacles. Your eyes still are glowing though, which is interesting.
I'm super into the Etchplane, like a side comic series of just like Etchplane and Wilford.
She's like actually getting
Yeah.
stuff done while we're
Yeah.
off.
It's like the Departed,
Nuts.
right? Like one is working for the police, one is in the police. but
Never
working
actually
against
seen The Departed.
them. It's based off of a Korean movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's practically ripped off of one.
Okay.
If you know the title, throw it in the thing.
The thing.
As you are led through the courthouse, through a number of hallways, dark wood, you reach a large chamber. You are brought into a large chamber. Within it is your typical courtroom setup with a few notable differences. Instead of a singular judge sitting at the head of the room, there is a curved crescent moon-shaped dais where 7 figures sit, wearing elaborate masks and headdresses that conceal their identities. A singular table sits before them with 5 chairs. Standing just beneath the dais is another figure that you recognize. A dragonborn man with onyx scales, wearing black robes and a silver raven's head on a pendant around his neck. You never learn this figure's name, to my knowledge, but you recall meeting him with Felspa to interview the bodies from the fireball incident outside of your tavern all those months ago. As you're led to your seats by Magister Twinborn, the Dragonborn moves forward. One of the masked figures stands and speaks. Paladin Greethen will now raise a zone of truth. If any of you resist the zone's effects, he will know and make us aware. Resistance will be viewed as having something to hide and will be a major factor in our final deliberation. Do you understand?
Yes.
Proceed, Paladin Greethen. The Dragonborn gives a slight bow to the masked lords before turning towards you all. He begins chanting a quiet prayer as the silver raven skull around his neck begins to glow, and a shadowy mist emits from his holy symbol and surrounds all of you in a 15-foot sphere. You all tense for a moment, expecting some sort of intrusion to your psyche, but it never comes. Mist lingers as Greethen turns back to the masked lords. None have resisted, my lords. He gives another bow. Good. Let us begin. You stand accused of the kidnapping and or disappearance of a noble family, as well as the murder of a noble in her own home. We shall discuss your involvement in such matters in increasing order of severity. Then the lords will deliberate and return with a verdict and any decision of sentencing should it be necessary. Firstly, you stand accused of involvement in the disappearance of the Castellanta family, namely Victoro and Amalia Castellanta and their children Terenzio and Elzerina Castellanta. Yourselves, as well as the now deceased Ollie Ilno, were the last known party seen with the Castellanta family. We have multiple eyewitness accounts throughout the North Ward and the Sea Ward on the day of the Castellanta family's disappearance. What do you say in your defense?
The Castellantas are alive and well. They willingly left of their own accord in order to keep their children safe. They wiped their own memories.
Make a persuasion check.
$26.
26. Nice. And if they are alive and well, whereabouts are they now? Are you aware? Brenaire kind of looks to you and gives like a knowing nod of like, may I speak?
Go ahead.
I, Lord Renaud Ember, escorted the Castellanta family out of the city of Waterdeep and paid for their passage on a ship across the Glemic Sea to Goldrun in Vassica. Where they are about currently, I don't exactly know, but that is where last I know that they were sent. I believe one among us has had communications with the Castellantas in the interim, and have confirmed that Victorio, at least, is still alive and well. Right. Anything else to add?
Oh, we could prove it to you.
How so? Another voice calls, kind of from down the way. You see, all of these masks are like, they all have these very strange, like, tall hats atop their heads that have like various shapes at the top. Some are curved, some are straight, and some are these kind of like arrowhead shapes. And they kind of like partially cover the forehead, and then there are these like strange, almost insectoid, but not quite. Just like strange masks that have a lot of different pieces to them. The mouths are articulated, so that whenever one is speaking, you can tell that they are speaking, because the mouth is like the bottom portion of the mouth seems to be affixed to their chin.
How crafty.
Yeah, right. And
Goes click, click, click.
and they wear long purple and black robes, kind of similar to a magister's robes, but notably straighter.
So we basically have their shapes and their hands to know if anybody's familiar.
They're also wearing gloves.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, basically like
Shape only.
basically yeah, in general shape, because they're wearing like these like flowing robes that really conceals the form. Like you get the sense these guys, their whole thing is you don't know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
Do I see merch?
No, I was just thinking like if there was like
Make an insight check.
if there was like a Hagrid type figure, you'd be like, well, there's fucking that guy.
Actually, I'd say insight or perception.
Are we the Dragonborn? Is he like on our level?
Yes, so he's kind of like standing at the bottom of the dais. Like I said, kind of your typical courtroom setup, except there's one table across from where the judge would be seated, and instead of like judge, witness stand, stenographer, it's like 7 judges in this kind of half moon shape.
He's kind of like
Okay.
the orderly, kind of like walking in the middle.
Yeah, very much like standing with arms crossed. There are also, looking around now, about 12 armed guards that don't look like City Watch. They look,
Special guards.
yeah, I'd say actually, Alma, you'd be well aware that these are Grey Hands. These are mercenaries that work for.
Do they look pitifully upon me?
No, they are stoic. Actually, they are professionals, and they've been paid to be here. Most of them are very much doing that like courtroom guard situation of just like standing and staring at nothing in the air and trying not to exist until they have to.
That's kind of how I spend most of my life. I'm gonna like pull out the paper from my sleeve and like hand it forward to the Dragonborn.
He like looks up at them, and there's like some whispering among them as they lean. What did you get on perception?
16.
16? Very hard to tell. There's like 3 heavier set figures, but there's no way to know.
Yeah. There's like hundreds of heavyset people in the world.
One of their heads perks up.
Me?
Hubert say
Shit.
what?
You're handing them the paper, right? Okay. We've just been informed that paper birds have been outlawed within the city, but being as you are who you are, that is a way to be sure that someone is alive.
Or at least on the.
Are you addressing Grethen,
I guess so.
the cleric? Yeah, he kind of like takes that in and turns and looks at the masked lords, who are kind of like leaning and whispering to one another. You see a couple of them seem to be having like differing opinions.
Any voices stand out?
Make a perception check with disadvantage, because they're talking in very hushed tones.
Oh right, I have the thing.
The thing.
Yeah. 22.
Wow.
I want what she has.
You hear one particular voice that sounds familiar, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Ooh.
There is
Secret.
a brief pause, and the seventh figure, who's the one seated at the highest point in the center, who's the one who addressed you, sits, kind of like raises both of his hands, and all of them kind of quiet. A vote in favor. He raises his hand. You see 2 others, and then 1 more.
If I may,
Proceed.
Oh, that's all it took?
They took a vote on whether or not they were going to let you
Oh, good.
do this as evidence. The cleric takes the paper and actually brings it over and hands it up to the masked lords, who pass it down, which you get the sense is a good call. If you had done it the other way, where you took it out and started trying to write it, which I don't know what you'd write on it with, you would have been committing a crime in court. But because the judge is the one
between my butt cheeks.
but because one of the masked lords is the one that is now doing the writing, yeah, then you can't be charged with that, thankfully.
Correct.
Yeah, he takes it, grabs a quill at his side, and kind of scrawls on it for a moment. Before holding it out, the bird folds up and begins flapping towards the door, and just kind of hits the door, and it's just like...
What direction? East or west, right?
West, yeah. Almost directly west. Maybe a little southwest. And yeah, there's a moment before one of the gray hands actually goes over and grabs and tears the bird's head and dispels essentially the magic so that it is not just flapping in the corner for the rest of the fucking trial.
No, I think it should.
That's what I call anything. Like murder. Dispelled.
Yeah, we didn't kill her. We dispelled it.
That paper bird had a family. Beautiful drawer of paper.
This is at least proof that Castellanter is alive.
Correct, and the charges against us are...
Well, we've not deliberated yet. We still have other charges to get to. Is this all you have to say in your defense on the first charge?
I'm trying to find a short way to explain the situation of the hag and the danger and blah 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 without being like, okay, so here's what happened.
Well, I mean, if basically are you saying like from a role-playing standpoint, not having to tell the whole story?
Yeah.
If you would like, as Cholula, to explain that whole story, absolutely, you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. As Cholula recounts the tale of the hag, give us the hits. What are the high points that you hit?
Yeah, so mystery, memories, dreams, the stone coming in, the black rain being a situation, realizing that it's a shape changer because of what Castellanter says, and the impersonation of Alma and taking of Genevieve.
Which probably is documented that person was staying there.
Yep.
Yeah.
No mistake.
Traveling overseas to Mistinor.
If she's around, that'd be cool if she wanted to come, like, tell anybody about that shit.
She's busy.
I guess
Ooh.
if they want someone else to.
Genevieve? Genevieve is across the country.
She's out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
She
usual.
told me to fuck up.
And I'm the absentee father.
You were both pretty absent.
But the
excuses.
trek to. Okay, so deciding on the memory thing to keep the hag from being able to find him, the stone thing that he has to also protect the reason why none of us know exactly where he is, so that our minds couldn't be infiltrated in that way.
Yeah. As you get to the amulet of indetection or whatever the fuck it's called, there's like another moment of like hubbub among the masked lords, and carrying over that perception check from earlier, you do hear a couple of them that are like, that would explain why he's been so hard to track down. That's why we couldn't find him.
I was really hoping one of them was Floon. One of the masked people. You do hear one voice. That's.
I don't know how I got here. What are we doing? I know them.
Or
Those are
Froon.
my
I'm
friends.
sorry,
They're
Froon.
really not.
Oh, Froon.
Sorry, I forgot
Froon's
consonants.
Brews.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, we got a
One of
Froon,
them
a
was
Froon.
Froon.
Oh, that would be much worse for you guys.
You do
Yeah.
kind of recognize one.
Oh man, if he went from like struggling tavern owner to masked lord in the time you were gone.
Hey, you've done worse while we were gone.
It could
That's
have
true.
been the whole time.
So yeah, you reach the end of your tale.
And the
about
college
hag.
and all that stuff for backup, if Silas could interject.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, your acquaintance with Dean Valdwin,
And yeah.
and I mean, probably if you wanted just an offhand mention that you met with Othorion Hevelor Geladorn,
Yeah,
the oldest king in Kavora.
for sure. And that we kind of still have some work to do for him, so.
You have to get him a mirror so he can look at himself.
But yeah, anybody that they could like, that we know that they would be able to get in contact with to corroborate our whole deal. Maybe like, so the thing with Altanin is pretty bad, huh?
Yeah, you
So
get
Silver,
through.
Silver Stake isn't all gone everywhere.
Yeah, you get through your entire description. Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
Because a lot of the masked lords themselves, even, you get about like halfway through this explanation, and they're like, "Damn, this is under zone of truth. Like this all." Well,
fucking
we'll see how
wild.
you roll.
This is some wild shit. Oof.
I really thought it was going to be another 11. The way you roll advantage. It's always the same number.
11.
You said persuasion, right?
Yes.
25.
25.
I love when you go somewhere else. While
When, carrying the two is like, what's happening in here?
I just don't carry them.
There's some
Drop
more.
the two. Shit.
There's some more quiet deliberation.
Some more wet.
Some more. There's some more.
It's a quick intervention.
Why is it so cute?
Chidu is very good at speaking.
It's a quick dance intermission.
Megan the unicorn comes out and twerks for a bit,
Yeah.
and the trial continues.
Thank you.
Somebody like wipes a tear.
And our special guy, witness,
That's an actual unicorn. That's crazy.
There's some more deliberation amongst them
She's
quietly
wearing body glitter.
before
Sopping wet.
they make a motion. They make a motion to continue with the second grouping of charges.
Right. Is it harder to explain?
And to spare everyone boring legal jargon, they approve the motion and we continue.
Good.
They also kind of oddly stand and kind of like rotate their chairs
no, they don't.
and take seats.
Ugh, I hate
Musical chairs.
feeling someone else's warmth. You know what I mean?
They take their chairs with them.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Because like
Dragging these fucking like really high-backed,
Yeah.
ornately carven wooden
loud.
chairs.
it's like you sit on yours and then you know that you left a warmth. You know, like oh, that's the worst.
The next voice that speaks, the new person in the center, is one of the three heavy-set men. Calls out.
Secondly, you stand accused of the murder of Lady Esvel Rosna, as well as no more than 2 and no less than 4 others. When the lady did not arrive for several pre-planned meetings with business partners across the city, a second guard detail was sent to her newly acquired residence in the Seaward. After an in-depth investigation and the assistance of the Grey Hands, a secret passage was discovered beneath the tower, which led to a set of vaulted adamantine doors and a chamber covered in enough dry blood to fill at least 4 humanoid bodies. the word Aranax was discovered scrawled in blood on the floor of the chamber. When one of the investigators spoke it aloud, the doors to the vault opened to reveal the rest of the crime scene.
I'd say you all immediately recognize this as the voice of
Yeah,
Mert.
yeah. I was like,
Uh,
I don't know if I was in character laughing or.
Within the vault, all that was discovered was his discarded equipment known to belong to Lady Rosnar, as well as multiple others. 3 bodies were found tucked into an alcove, all partially devoured by some great beast. Among these corpses remained the rotten heads of 2 figures, one of which belonged to Lady Esvel Rosnar. With the help of a cleric of the Dark Light, the body was questioned and revealed descriptions of her murderers, matching those of the defendants we see here today and the recently deceased Ali Ilno. In addition to this damning evidence, there were 2 more witnesses. A pair of guards for the City Watch reported having a conversation with Lady Esvel 2 days after she was confirmed to have died by means of questioning and lividity. She was reportedly being attended by Lord Castellanter, Lord Neverember, and figures matching the descriptions of Cholula Duvet, Ollie Ilno, Lady Alma Bramble, and Lord Silas Wilford Bramble. We look forward to an explanation that could clear you of this quite damning evidence. You may now speak in your defense.
I'm like, look at Cholula, then look at Renair, and then look back at Cholula.
Yeah, I don't.
Well,
I don't think I got that far in the. I'm trying to think of what happened because I didn't get to
So-
those episodes.
do you want
When
me
you
to
guys
start?
went back to the vault,
Yeah.
shortly before Ollie died, there were 2 guards knocking on the door of Lady Rosnar's tower because she had missed a meeting. So Alma used the Hat of Disguise to impersonate Lady Esvel Rosnar.
Allegedly.
This is just me telling you guys facts.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm being argumentative.
The Castellanters were with you at the time, so was Renair. This was like, basically you went inside and then Castellanter was the bait for the hag. He gave his medallion of whatever the fuck hiding to his wife and kids, who then began leaving. Then you guys went down into the vault and had that whole, it was very sad. Ollie died. Wellington showed up and fucked everybody over. And, but yeah, leading up to that, Alma impersonated Lady Esvel Rosnar and spoke with 2 city guards, City Watch, I should say. And they apparently are being used as witnesses in this trial.
Another truth bomb, then. Well,
Should I or should you?
Oh, go for it.
Okay.
you've been doing very
You look a
well.
lot more confident.
No,
You're doing great, yes.
yeah, your posture is fantastic when you're not carrying 20 weapons on you. I just want to say.
I would say without an insight check needed, you guys can see that Renair has started to sweat a little bit.
I'll pat Renair on the back.
Yeah. In his mind, at least. I don't know how all of you are feeling. Actually, let's talk about how you're all feeling before we get into this discussion. Renair
Looks.
looks a little sick because, well, actually, everybody make a history check to recall the code legal of Waterdeep.
Oh, I recently read it.
I know. I thought I had one around, and I can't.
And
Well, I've died since then. 8.
8.
impersonating
12.
a noble is a death sentence or severe
Shit,
punishment.
that's
Yeah. Yes, it is. And you see that Renair is aware of that and knows that in order to tell the truth in this situation, you have to admit to another crime of impersonating a noble,
Yeah.
which wouldn't affect all of you, but would potentially get Alma the death sentence again.
Impersonating a noble.
I should read the rules. But I am a noble.
No,
How could I impersonate?
it's not your status.
You were still impersonating another person who's also a noble. Are you guys kind of like talking quietly to one
No.
another?
Can we?
Yeah.
Is that something that's allowed?
Yeah.
I forgot about
excuse us
this
for a
part of the charge, I guess, when we were going over our interrogation room things, and we didn't talk about
I
this.
also start
You
to
have,
sweat.
you have, as much time as you need to deliberate amongst yourselves before speaking in your defense. However, we retain the right to continue the trial if you're taking too fucking long. So,
If I could get some clarification on code legal.
yes.
Impersonating a noble. So if I were to impersonate, let's say, Lord Bramble, right now, would that be impersonating a noble?
Lord, Harvin Bramble, the deceased.
Yes.
Yes, technically that would still be impersonating a noble.
So the noble status extends to posthumous.
Yes.
Okay.
You could, because, you could murder a noble and take their face and go into a bank and get all their money out.
Just clarifying, it's rather short in the code legal as it is.
Of course.
Shit.
So how you guys gonna talk your way out of this one?
Yeah, you asked how we were feeling. Silas just wants to get all the truth bombs out because they
Yeah.
seem to be working.
I'm
like,
leaning towards also just
truth bombing.
we just tell him we told you this whole shit about Castlanter and the fucking hag and all of this business, and we did what we had to do to get him and his children out of here. And that's how it turned out. It's unfortunate, but we feel that
Are we,
Well, and
are,
she
are we
was- and she was
characterizing?
Black
Sorry,
Rain.
yeah, I guess.
She was Black Rain.
And she was Black Rain, and yeah, I think
This is a threat to Waterdeep, right?
right.
yeah.
So-
So I mean, due to the circumstances, we understand that we committed a crime, but
Is it okay with you that we admit that we did, but under the guise that we were, in fact,
Okay, let me
doing this for the
think
better of Waterdeep?
We already agreed that we know, right, that if it's a death sentence, it's not happening right here, right now.
right.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Do you want to?
Okay.
Do you want to do the confession part?
I
Since
think
you were the
they would probably
impersonator
see that a
person?
bit better, right? It's a bit more of a
Okay.
public relations
Yeah,
move.
yeah. Let's lead us. You lead me in, and then I'll jump in. And be
And,
like,
and same with the killing of the lady as well. I did
right.
do that to at least my knowledge.
Right. I think I was out cold on the ground.
Right, which you can explain. You were
Right.
dead. Right.
We covered the murder part, right? We're in the
No.
we're in the impersonation
I think
part.
the murder is the highest.
They are not
They're-
aware of the impersonation yet. Well, they are hinting at being aware of the impersonation.
Oh, I thought that was
they-
like one of the accusations was that we impersonated a noble.
I'd say with
Yeah, that's
no.
what we got arrested for.
Oh yeah.
Impersonation and murder.
Okay, yeah. Then yes, they're aware. Sorry, my brain was looking at the code legal right now.
Okay.
It was people leaving the building. It was the two guards seeing her after she died, and then
Yeah.
the witnesses seeing us leaving the building.
Yeah, and also based on their like opening statement for these charges, they mentioned that after interrogating the deceased body of Lady Rosnar, they and through use of lividity, for which, for those of you who may not know, is using kind of like the state of the blood of a corpse to determine how long ago it died. Through the use of those things in tandem, they discovered that this sighting of the two City Watch members happened 2 full days after Lady Esbel was already dead. So they know that somebody was impersonating her, and
But they arrested us on it, which is probably wrongful arrest, like putting that on the accusations and saying like
Yeah.
suspected of.
well, they also had your descriptions from Lady Esbel's
right,
body.
but the arresting officer said that instead of saying suspected of.
There is a lot of evidence
like a lawyer.
implying
Right,
there.
but you still say suspected of because, yeah.
It's
Well, yeah,
circumstantial
I mean,
at
but hey,
best.
nobody ever said innocent until proven guilty in Waterdeep. So,
He's a magister too, so he could do it like on the spot if he wanted.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, at any point, Twinborn could just be like, I'm bored, death sentence.
Yeah.
And everybody would have to be like, all right.
Hey, if there's not another bathroom break in a minute, just do that.
So I guess I would just like to.
Sorry about the delay. We were just deliberating on how we would go forward, not what we were going forward with. We are continuing to truth bomb, if you will.
So I'm gonna. Yeah, I want to reiterate the shit with Castellanter and the Black Rain. Remind them that they were masks, and that unfortunately to do what we needed to do to save these children, we had to. And then I'll pass it to Alma.
Right. In the best efforts of
You see there's like this eerie moment too, as Cholula passes it to Alma, as 7 masked heads with tall hats all turn at the same time towards you.
I pass out.
What she meant to say was
She's fine. In the efforts of not outing the identities of those that we were trying to protect, and to protect the assets of the people of Waterdeep, it became crucial that I took on the identity of Lady Rosnar, member of the Black Rain. I impersonated her, not in the efforts of impersonating a noble, as much as I was protecting her identity as a noble and not a member of the Black Rain.
So, because we are doing this in less of a role play back and forth, just for the sake of, there's a lot of details and it was a long time ago.
yeah.
A year ago, roundabout.
Yeah, for us, literally.
There's a Christmas tree
Yeah.
Yeah,
in all of those.
yeah.
Twice.
Has-
We've been through 2 Christmas trees.
Have any of you mentioned yet, and this, you can add this in now if you would like to have mentioned this, have any of you mentioned Lord Castellanter's involvement with the Black Rain?
We did.
Yeah, I kind of, whenever I was
And-
going through the whole story, I kind of meant the whole story.
Okay. Okay,
Including, Castellanter and the other noble that he mentioned that was part of the Black Rain. He was saying that her mind had kind of been poisoned by the order, but she was generally a cool guy.
That was Rosnar.
Yeah.
No, there was another one. A second lady.
Oh, yeah,
that was
Yala
something-
Groland.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was some kind of cemetery situation happening with her.
That is correct. That is correct.
Right. So I'll probably
And
throw
with
that
the
name
map.
out there.
Yeah, for sure.
And with the masks.
The infamous
We're all in.
YG. Yeah. With all of that stated, I need. Let's say instead of rolling with advantage for one of you, because you both spoke, each of you roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
And we'll go with the higher of the two.
Please. You're new.
It's a lot of pressure.
I know.
That is 19.
Okay.
Why am I allowed to ever talk? Why is that ever allowed? Can I use my favorite melee gun? Nope, that's a saving throw. Okay.
7. This was functionally advantage between the two. So we take the 19.
Thank God.
I
just
think all
have
of
the,
that grumbling was canon.
I have the reliable talent thing, and I'm proficient in persuasion.
Yeah.
As you finish giving your explanation and the court words left my brain again. A confession, basically.
Yeah.
There's a long pause where there's not quiet deliberation between the masked lords. Some of them kind of give each other a look. But there's a long silence of just processing. Because you guys have told a wild story in this courtroom today.
Shit's been wild.
Before the others, the one in the center, which all of you now know to be Mert, stands.
Right, well. The masked lords will now take a recess to deliberate on your sentencing and return with our findings.
They put. There's no telling how long this is gonna take.
We have.
Okay. Do we have chairs?
Do we not have one more charge
Okay.
against us?
I think that was all of them.
That was it. The murder was kind of.
Rolled in. Okay.
Yeah.
We got into that. We were surrounded. The masks, right? The mask was found at the scene.
Yeah. We told
We
the
can corroborate
everything.
those with like the silver stake mask. Cool.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
They recede out of the chamber through a pair of doors on either side behind them, and you're left in the chamber surrounded by gray hands.
I do that
and-
thing that everyone does in courtrooms when they have handcuffs on. I like turn back to somebody that's really close, and they lean in and cover their
Yeah,
face with
Etch
paper.
playing. holding
Does
it.
everybody have handcuffs on?
No, it's actually just you.
I've been pantomiming
Actually, no.
fucking close
no.
hands.
Yeah, you all have manacles. Yours are the only ones that are anti-magic.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, this,
They can both just break out of this. We know that, right?
I
We
just
all
got
know.
here, and so I haven't had time to register. I wasn't gonna. It didn't seem like the right time to bring it up, you know.
It's true. Yeah, Cholula's stuff didn't manifest until you were overseas.
is mine considered magics, right?
Yeah,
But I would register those.
you can do spell-like things.
Okay. I hadn't really thought about it because it was always him, right?
So,
Here comes the dog.
Bilius, the court hound.
Court
You old bitch.
awakes from her slumber.
With that very the African wild dog hunched back, she just had.
She knows she's in trouble when she starts barking at the door. So she's like, "I'm not really barking."
I shouldn't.
I can't stop.
I shouldn't be doing this.
I can't stop myself.
I really just gotta wait it out.
Yeah.
Dog, please.
All right. So as the masked lords recede, and you are left in the chamber,
So sharp.
I've never known a better time to throw to break. We're gonna take a quick break. It'll be about 20 minutes. But before we go, we have a giveaway.
Giveaway.
Here it is. It's backwards and it's in your
Yeah.
face.
To enter for your chance to win this lovely set of pre-painted mystery minis, created by WizKids, provided to us by our sponsor, More Fun Comics and Games. Go ahead and type the word Captain in
Captain.
the chat.
Captain.
Oh, congratulations.
You've got to be
Captain, my
a
captain.
follower to be eligible to win. So follow us now here on Twitch if you haven't already. It's free to do, costs you nothing, and you get notified when we go live, which is, spoilers, once every week on Saturday.
Hey, 8 p.m. Central.
Bold move, Captain. Let's see if it pays off for him.
And other things.
Surveys.
Yeah, don't forget, you can type !survey in the chat to get a link to a survey that we've put out and give us feedback on the show. It's fully anonymous. We'd prefer that it remain that way so that you can give us your true, unfiltered thoughts. And yeah, we actually we'll be looking over those. And we have this,
3 entries as of tonight, so we'd like to see that number go up.
yeah, we have a very fun little
Oh, we got
analytics
another
page
one.
that we
Avenging
can look at.
Penguin finished it.
Bang
Oh,
wing.
nice.
Oh.
Bang wing.
Uh,
We shouldn't know that it was you.
yeah, we should
my
know.
bad.
No,
Oh, but we won't know whose answers.
Okay.
right? Yeah, we won't know who's what. It doesn't matter. Fill it out, and we might throw a poll up while we're on break. That's something we're going to be playing around
Ooh.
with, right?
Yeah.
Sure, I don't know how to do it, but I
Yeah.
can come up with one.
Yeah, I'm sure Robbie
I can
will.
think of one.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, let's use that.
How do you think this is gonna go?
Yeah, we'll do a poll. We'll be back in 20 minutes to announce the winner of the Witchlight giveaway and to tell you how to enter to win the Fablefire dice for our second giveaway. So stay tuned. Don't go away. We'll see you shortly.
At Night Court.
Night court.
It's Night Court.
It's Night Court.
I love that show.
Welcome back. Before we get into the sentencing, we've got a giveaway to announce.
I sentence you to win this if you're not from Quebec or living in Quebec currently.
But only if your name is
Oh,
Justin Ankar!
A strong name.
Or Justina Nkar. I don't know.
It's just an Ancon.
I'm pretty sure it is. Congratulations on your win. I'm going to go ahead and catalog that giveaway. What's happening to me?
Don't forget
I'm gonna
to
change.
go to arcanarama.com/#support and click on that link to the survey, or type in !survey into the chat now if you want to do our little survey to help us with our content moving forward.
Yeah. Help us be the content creators
the
that
other
you
thing.
want to look at for hours. What?
Set up the other thing.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
It's ready to
you
go.
can stack them. That's right.
Yeah, I'm prepared now because Robbie is the best.
Robbie's in the chat.
To enter for your chance to win the Fable Fire Dreams and Desire dice, go ahead and type the word trial in the chat. TRIAL.
How dare.
I was so tempted to be like guilty in the chat.
That's my stepdog. You be.
That's your stepdog?
I said, that's my stepdog.
That's my stepdog. Okay.
You're not my real owner.
Real dog anymore.
You're not my real dog.
That's my stepdog.
Honestly, Pepper's my stepdog, I think.
She is.
Yeah.
That's my bitch.
I guess Juicebox is my stepdog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stepdog.
Grim is our biological son.
He's our biological
I
dog.
had him.
Hey, don't put images in my head because you can't.
I live a free life.
I had a dog.
Okay, bringing us back in. The masked lords have exited the chamber to deliberate on their sentence, on your sentence, I should say. As you sit and wait, and minutes go by, then an hour,
Oh no. I was joking.
then a couple hours. What's going through all of your minds? We're gonna go in reverse order. Sorry if I just punched my microphone. We'll go in reverse order from the fate rolls. So Silas, what's going through Silas's mind? Actually, no, hang on. I'm gonna flip it and reverse it. We're gonna go in the same order. Cholula.
Oh, okay.
Full reason.
Well, I feel like I'm feeling like, you know, we did what we could. We told him what happened, and, you know, at least I'm not a liar. And if the sentence comes up negatively, we're just gonna have to figure that out.
Okay. Spoken like the worst lawyer in the world.
Before we move on to Alma and your thoughts on the current situation,
Right.
there is a moment where, after about an hour and a half has passed, about 2 hours have passed, Magister Twinborn kind of leans in and just quietly is like, you know, could be a good thing that it's taken them so long to deliberate. It means there's some dissent among them. It's not as cut and dry, probably, as they thought it was going to be. Alma, how are you feeling?
Were you gonna do it in reverse order?
I changed my mind.
Okay.
For reasons.
I think probably after like the 10-minute mark, I started like shaking my leg, and it's just kind of gotten faster and then slower.
Yeah, you all hear that faint kind of like,
I can hear it right now, Sweetheart.
not quite a squeak. I refuse to stop. Not quite a squeak, but just like a twitch.
Your
Light.
light is like
your highlight. Bing, 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 bing.
But just like that faint,
Hi.
audible sound of like leather on leather as Alma's boots just kind of scuff against one another.
yeah, I'm kind of just rolling over in my head like, I forgot that impersonation thing was an immediate death sentence. The more you know.
Silas, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Feeling like it doesn't matter. Like if it turns out negatively, it's because there's a Black Rain member up there, but they couldn't really oust themselves if they were out there in the deliberating room, right? Like 12 angry men, one of them's like, I think the Black Rain's kind of cool. Like, that sounds a little bad, but
make a base intelligence check, Silas.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a really nice way to say, that was really fucking stupid.
No. This is to see if you go on a tangent that my brain went on.
Okay.
As a
Base
person with
intelligence?
anxiety, putting myself in your boots. Yes.
14.
14?
12 plus 2 is
Yeah.
14.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say
I just read that.
it's up to you how Silas would interpret this and feel about it, but as you're kind of going along that line of thought, you go a little bit deeper and have the thought of like, unless there are 4 members of the Black Rain amongst them, which they've already made their decision, or perhaps there are none.
Yeah.
And then, kind of like spiraling around that and like, well, but it's taken this long, so they couldn't have stacked themselves. But if there were 3, they could be trying to just push one person in either direction. There's this whole, you've been sitting here for now 2.5 hours. Every scenario has played through your mind. Your training as a Harper has trained you to very quickly play through scenarios, and having this much time to think about it, like you're
Fucking Doctor Strange.
You're
like,
in you're in plans A, Z, and B4. Like
seen 814
you've made new
million
charts and you're
possibilities.
My calf starts to just like tighten from tapping my foot. And then I just
So
like,
it's just a constant alternating.
Yeah.
Tap, 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 tap.
Does Silas feel any anxiety about this?
well, it could be any of them, really, if you think about it.
What?
Sorry.
What?
Sorry. I was just
Make a quick wisdom saving throw for me.
thinking out loud, thinking. Whiz save?
Yes.
27?
Dang.
19 plus 8.
Yeah, I am.
Nice. There's a moment as you're tapping your foot and like contemplating all of this and feeling pretty anxious. You feel your heart rate rising, and you kind of like lean forward and put your head down. And as you do, you notice just a faint bit of mist trickling out from your right pant leg. And you instantly kind of like freeze. Mist.
I missed.
You took a little bit of mist out of the
Like
bottom of your pants.
you just
Hot mist.
you just see it kind of
Pooling.
gray, yeah, and along the floor like dry ice would. And you like freeze for a moment and take a deep breath. And it doesn't recede like into you, but it dissipates.
Do either of us notice this?
You can make perception checks at disadvantage because, as you've stated, you're all
We're
pretty
in our own
preoccupied in your own thoughts.
I think when I say it could be any of them, that will be me like kind of kicking it. Like, ah!
A dirty 20.
22.
Yeah, I'd say each of you would notice that.
Uh,
It's very out of place seeing mist in the middle of this
My legs are
interior
stepping
room.
faster.
But you also notice that it dissipates.
okay.
It's not getting to me like what we did. It's getting to me what other people think of what we did because they weren't there.
Right. How's Renair feeling?
Renair looks very nervous. I'm sorry, there's like a waft of litter box happening right now.
Oh no!
No, well, it's because of the fan we put over there. It has your face on it. It's oscillating.
Renair is...
The whole house is just decorated with Cameron's head.
There is one over there.
It's one.
It's always looking at you, which is fun.
We'll put a picture in Discord after the stream.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
There's... Internally, Renair is, and obviously you guys aren't aware of his internal monologue, but just so I can feel included.
How are you feeling?
How do you feel?
Renair is incredibly anxious. Less for himself and his own well-being, and more so for Alma, because Alma is of all of you, in his mind, based off of how convincing your arguments were and kind of the reactions of the Mass Lords, Alma seems the most at risk because she had the most charges against her specifically. But as
She
he
already
kind of
died since then.
Yeah.
Really. So it's not even
Yeah.
like the same.
So I already got my sentence.
a technicality.
Yeah.
As time goes on, he has kind of the opposite reaction of Silas. He takes to heart what the Magister says and realizes that with every passing minute, there is continued discussion. And in a strange way, he feels more calm the more time passes. Because he came in here thinking that you guys were fucked and were dead. But it's taking a really long time. And after about 3 hours and 45-ish minutes,
Did it bring us any snacks?
there is like a pitcher of water.
I'll drink all of it.
Yeah, you finish it.
How is it?
Was it worth it?
Room temperature. I don't.
There are 4 glasses, is what I'm saying.
There was ice in it when
From the picture.
there was ice in it when the trial started. So now like all the like any papers that were on the desk that were like near it or like
Oh no,
soaked.
they wrap them in towels. They like wrap them
okay.
around the handle and then back around the bottom. Yeah.
Oh, good to know. Good to
Yeah.
know. After about 3 hours,
I've been staring at it for 3 hours.
after about 3 hours and 45 minutes, the doors open once again, and the 7 masked figures return to the chamber. They file in a different order than they were before, either time.
Do we stand? Do we stand?
Rise.
They say it. Okay.
Lord Wilford Bramble, Lord Never Ember, Lady Bramble, and Miss Duvet. On the first count, abduction and or disappearance of a noble family, against their will, we find you not guilty. The Castellanta family has been contacted, and clerics are en route to restore their memories and bring them back to their rightful home at Castellanta Villa. On your second count, murder of a noble of Waterdeep. We, the Masked Lords, find you guilty. Lady Bramble, on your third count of impersonating a noble, we find you guilty. However, you've raised a great many matters of import during this trial, and as we are to believe, your intentions had the city's best interests at heart. As such, we shall now pass down your sentencing. We hereby decree that your group, Lord Renaer Never Ember, Lord Silas Wilford Bramble, Lady Bramble, and Miss Cholula Duvet, those with titles of nobility shall have your nobility revoked. You are now common in the eyes of the people, and you shall henceforth be banished indefinitely from Waterdeep in the coming 2 days. You have until sunset on the second day from this meeting to get your affairs in order and exit the city. Any who are found within the city limits after this time shall be executed for treason. You are dismissed. And you see the one figure that you know to be Mert now lingers for a second longer than everyone else. Silas, make a actually anybody who wants to can make a quick perception check.
28.
Damn.
Jesus. Chulu's just standing beside him.
Perception. 15.
15.
14 plus 22.
Oh, they did bring that guy back. Blast wind.
22.
Cholula and Silas, each of you notice, lingering just for the briefest of moments as all of the Master Lords begin shuffling back through the doors out of the chamber. Mert lingers for a moment and kind of tilts his head back just enough so that the faint arcane glow that's been lighting this room from the ceiling of the chamber with a low, warm light just kind of glints off of an eye within the receded, covered portion of the mask. And you see just the faintest little wink as he turns.
I thought it was going to be a single tear. Oh my god.
Dramatic.
This is goodbye.
Holds out a hand. No, you just see a little wink as he turns and makes his exit as well.
Does that mean we're going to be put to death? That's an ambiguous wink. However,
You can make insight checks.
you
if
can
you'd like.
live.
I mean, I feel like he's like, I did what I could.
So what does that mean for the poll we just put?
Looks like a couple of people got 6,000 channel points or something.
Oh, cool.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I don't know how these work.
Hey, neither do I. Seems
Thanks
fun.
for telling me.
Exile, baby.
It's all the water, isn't it?
Oh, it was even carbonated.
It was. I think.
It's not on purpose.
Sparkling water.
Just a nervous prestidigitation making the bubbly.
Yeah.
So, you get. Did either of you roll insight checks?
I'll do it.
Okay, you don't have to if you don't want to.
I want to.
Whoa!
Just did a little bit of a lip.
That was
on
a
that one.
fucking skater trick from that D20 just
Yeah, and it's a 5. So
now.
A strong number.
Yeah, unclear. You get the sense that
he could've
yeah,
just
he
been
did
blinking.
what he could.
Yeah. Okay.
Could have been worse. And that's kind of the look that you get from Magister Twinborn and Detective Etchplane as they're both just kind of like surprised, but also relieved, but also like, well, shit.
Yeah.
Because they've really ingrained themselves within this city and lead very busy double lives, each of them. So the chances of them getting to potentially see you again after 2 days are very slim.
Oh, within Waterdeep.
They remove your manacles from all of you, and you are
I
escorted.
start blasting. How
I
dare!
do this number even though they weren't that tight and it doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
That's just what you do.
you have to. It's like
It's just-
clicking tongs.
It's like push around the skin cells, right?
Yeah.
that have just been in another direction all day.
You are escorted back out through the courthouse into Magister Twinborn's office, where you are given your things back. And there's a moment where the Magister stands tall. Well, it appears this is where we part ways. If any of you have any owned properties within the city that you'd like to part with or sell for any money that you'd need for whatever you'd like to set your lives up, I'd be happy to take care of that for you over the next couple of days.
Do you think we should just sell the property? Or
Well, if
how
we sell it, it
indefinite
opens
is
something.
indefinite? Have you ever seen anyone get banished and get unbanished?
Well, to answer your question, have I seen it? No. Is it possible? Sure. If they look into the matters that you've spoken about, they could lessen your sentence to a number of years banished. But most likely, because you were found guilty of the the murder of a noble and impersonation of a noble on one count, I'd say your chances of ever being welcome in the city again are slim to none. unfortunately.
She did represent the whole city, so.
I would say my professional advice as a magister of the city. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
If you now find yourselves in a position where you're going to be basically kicked out of the city with nothing, not but your possessions with you. So if you have any assets that can be liquidated, do so.
Right.
That means to sell them for money. My understanding. Cameron has
Yeah,
the-
that is correct.
You could also make them liquid. if
Being
you
that
try
the
to-
two of them no longer count as
Oh my God.
nobles within the city, what about Genevieve?
Well, Miss Bramble was not involved in this matter, so
So we shouldn't sell a house. Baby.
the ass on the mic always. Kiss, kiss, kiss. So, since your nobility has been revoked from each of you, the Bramble estate will fall directly to Genevieve, and she will be.
She took everything from me.
You two are still married. It's
That's the wildest thing about it, isn't it? I was asleep, no money. I went from 26,000?
Well, maybe we can go grab your bag before we leave. She's not there.
She's changed the locks, I imagine.
We don't have to worry about locks.
Alma was staying there.
Fucking elves, you know what I mean?
There's a password to a safe.
There was.
That woman.
Am I
told this to you. She told you most of it, and then you ran out of words.
No! She gave me 2 numbers.
It's elves, man. It's
she ran out of
elves.
words.
She asked me 500 other questions.
Do you have any more questions or seek any legal advice before we part ways?
We should probably sell the tavern, yes?
Well,
We
if
can
you
open up
ever
another
want
thing.
to run a tavern, it might be best to try and do it somewhere else.
Hillslip
Yeah.
was nice. You seem to like that place quite a bit.
Hillslip was nice, and we could really go anywhere. So, yes, I do need to sell the property of formerly the Feast and Fountain. I believe Renee has been restoring it, so it's an actual building again.
Of course.
The furniture within.
I may actually.
I am familiar with the property. I don't know anything about the furnishings, but it's a good lot in a good part of town. We could probably get you upwards of maybe 15,000 for it.
Alright, I'm not selling to Emic Froome, however.
Yeah.
Right, I'll make a note of that. No to Emic Froome.
Or any business affiliates of Immick like that.
We'll have to
I'll do an
sign some
extensive background
documentation
check, of course.
noting that they are not Emic Froon or purchasing on behalf of Emic Froon.
Of course. As we
Or
previously
our
discussed as well, missives in and out of the city are still kosher. Keep using that word. They are still allowed. So,
Well, he's Jewish.
It's the contradiction, isn't it?
if I cannot find the buyer before you are making your leave, which I'll need you to bring the deed by.
Right.
If I
We'll
can't,
probably sleep there tonight and pack up our things.
of course, I can come by in the morning if that's easier.
Sure.
Right, pencil that in, and I will get the deed from you, and once I am able to sell the property, if you would like to keep in contact and let me know of your new address, I can have the money sent to you. Or, I mean, again, on that lot, it might sell faster than we think. I could have the money for you before you leave.
So now do we need to just hand a letter to a courier or something to get messages to you?
Probably depends.
We can't send, I imagine we can't send a bird into town. It would be intercepted.
Most major holds and keeps will have their own branch of a new guild around these parts, the Order of Heralds. They have taken up delivery of parcels, packages, letters, scrolls, missives, items, any number of things.
Oh, so we can just find one of them and pay them, I guess, to send?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will do the same to have the money taken to you.
I've heard they're great to have around in a pinch. You know, if not everything's going your way, it's nice to have the heralds around. If the things you've had scheduled, you know, don't really go where you want them.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I thought you were writing us a little Golden Girls kind of theme song.
You know, it's a great place to go where everyone knows your name. I know that's not Golden Girls. I'm just kind of rolling them all in together now. It's a good place to McCall on, if you know what I'm saying.
Well, I'm sorry, but also congratulations, I guess, on keeping your lives.
We came out all right.
Seems like you've had quite a tale, quite a go of it.
Sure.
I don't think we've won really anything since we've banded together.
Well, you mentioned that city of refugees that you got to safety.
Yeah, we couldn't really celebrate with them, could we?
Maybe you could now.
I lost a friend that same evening, so kind of a sore subject. I don't know if we mentioned that.
That's a good question. Did you mention Aurora at all?
Probably.
Yeah, I figured when we talked about the whole shit in Mistinora, that the Silver Stake were still doing things, that we lost another person.
If we mentioned the college would be like, who are you talking about? Oh, right.
We
Aurora.
freed a whole, bunch of people, and then also we did it again in Chillrun, which someone should check that out.
Right. Well, if I may speak out of turn, it sounds like perhaps this isn't the worst thing that could have happened.
No, not at all. This city sucks.
It does not.
Yeah.
I get where they're coming from.
No, for sure.
Every glittering gem has a few imperfections.
Or bites.
Yeah.
Well, good luck in your future travels. I shall be in contact with you. I'll come around tomorrow to collect the deed for the Feast and Fountain.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have kind of a permanent residence, but maybe we'll stick around somewhere long enough to receive the funds.
We'll be at the Feast and Fountain
Yeah, for
tonight, and we'll figure out. We'll let you know we're planning ahead.
Right, of course. Well, safe travels. I shall see you on the morrow, and down with tyranny.
justice for all.
As you exit,
Give ours to Etchplane as well.
of course.
Proud of both of you, really.
As you step out of his office and kind of make your way through the courtyard, there's like a small detail of 2 guards that just escort you out. They're not like
We're
threatening.
near still with our group, right?
Yeah, we're near still.
And they gave us our shit back.
Yes.
Cool.
Which, for you guys, that's not that big of a deal. You've got plenty of irons and plenty of fires all over the world right now.
Yeah.
Renair, not so much.
Yeah, I was gonna ask him to.
Yes, I think I perhaps will make my way. Stop through.
Dark Pines is looking up.
Really?
Yeah, they're doing some renovations.
I was thinking more perhaps heading towards Strandwick, stopping through Galen's Folly, checking on the aftermath there of the Silver Stake attack. I know they had it pretty rough with their lowered defenses. I don't know, see what Harpers I can find around. I'm sure it won't be too long before I find a place to live.
I'm sorry for getting you into all this.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel no regret. I think we've done more good for this city than you lot even know. There are children who are starving who are no longer starving because of what we did, what you did. And that's enough for me.
well, I do think, for the record, that you were unfairly looped into this sentencing when you were not part of the physical altercation.
That is true, but I was present during the other crimes, which makes me an asset.
Regardless.
Who knows? Maybe I'll sail across the sea and give Daggett an old hello. A couple of exiled never-embers.
Well, if you ever need anything from us, I mean, even just companions to travel from here to where you're going next.
Right. I shall ask for the Mistwalkers, shall I?
Yes, that's right. I
That-
came up with the name.
It's an excellent name, if I do say so. Well, I should be getting my affairs in order as you kind of like step out of the courtroom into the now maybe an hour past midnight Waterdeep.
Oh my god.
Night court.
Yeah, deliberation took a long time and it was already nighttime when you showed up. Get some rest and good luck.
Until next time, Renee.
Till next time.
Usually we're really bad at goodbyes, but good luck, Renee.
You all as well. And he, maybe legally, with no longer as much meaning behind it, but to him very meaningful, gives a deep bow to all of you and turns and begins making his way towards his residence. Over the next couple of days, unless you guys have anything specific that you would like to get up to,
Tomorrow morning,
what's up?
wake up. Fresh spell slots. Genevieve.
This bitch.
Wait, hang on, let me get my
Yeah.
counter.
Get your counter.
Also, for those of you watching who may not be aware of our homebrew rule, sending as a spell for us works more like a telephone because I think it's cool. Instead of each side having 25 words, there's a 50-word pool that can be drawn from, and so a conversation can be had.
For all those early 2000s rollover text people out there.
Yeah, and if any of you are thinking, that's game breaking, hasn't yet.
Yeah. I don't even know.
We'll try.
Oh no.
Genevieve. Got banished. Need cash. Safe code, please.
Did you write down the last two numbers that I gave you?
5 is what I got. 5 is all I got.
Five is one of them.
She gave you like half the code. 5.
Maybe it's only two numbers.
She responds, "What on earth?" Sorry, no. She would say,
Oh my god.
she would say, "What on Kavora?" There's a pause, and you can feel the sigh.
As long as she doesn't
It doesn't
say
take a
it.
word. It doesn't take a word. The safe code is 5643.
Do those numbers mean anything to me?
Take whatever you need. Yeah, right.
Oh shit.
Take whatever you need. I'm still ironing out the mines in Strandwick. You're welcome to join me here, if need be. There are 10 words left.
I will run it by the group. Love you, thanks.
Perfect. Another seamless conversation.
My mom. It's like, hey, how's it going?
Okay, bye.
Here's my list of needs and grievances. Love you, bye.
Kisses. Kisses. Your mistake.
Shortly,
Signed. Your mistake.
shortly thereafter. Magister Twinborn arrives and gets the deed from you to the estate, to the manor, I should say. And begins his work on selling the place. In the meantime, we'll do a little montage over the next 2 days as you gather up your things, which most of them are already gathered because you've been on the road.
Yeah. Carry him in his little bag.
Is there any anything that you guys would like to handle in Waterdeep, or anyone who resides in Waterdeep that you would like to see and say your goodbyes to before you are exiled from the city forever?
Yeah.
We don't have to roleplay all of it, but we can if you would like to roleplay some.
Tallulah probably wants to go by the yawning portal and lay a smooch on Durnan and then walk away.
He's very confused, but accepts it.
Yeah.
He says that. I'm very confused.
That was very confusing. Thank you, goodbye.
And to think that she skipped the line.
It's my last day in town, Durnan.
You know, the line of...
Cholula's like perpetually dangling a handkerchief.
Yeah. It's my bar towel.
You know, the line, because... I don't know why I came along. I'm so sorry. I was making a joke about how there's people lining up.
Are you gonna drink something?
No.
And get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'd like to go to the estate. I'm not gonna get like arrested if I go there, right?
No.
Okay.
You guys won't get arrested unless you stay here past the 2-day limit.
We can commit as many crimes as we want.
As long as the punishment isn't greater than exile. Yeah, and I want to get into that safe.
Okay.
I'm there. I have to.
Yeah,
Right.
Silas is like waiting at the gate when you arrive.
I watched Cholula kiss someone, so open this fucking safe.
Are those related?
No, it was just, I thought she was going to do something more important. She was walking so fast. But she just kissed someone. And then I was just there. It made me feel weird.
Really close? Because sometimes
I was so close. I thought
I've
she was going to
noticed
order
you
us
tend-
drinks.
You tend to assume that people are going to whisper about a plan, so you get like right up there. You gotta stop that.
It made it look
could
like
have had
I had
drinks.
money out. It made it look like I was paying her to kiss him. It was the
Now we're
weirdest thing.
definitely going to get the death sentence. You can't do that.
I don't
You
have my
arrive
keys.
at the safe.
Right. How does everything look at this point? Is it still pretty run down?
No, it's actually coming along very nicely. Which I would say Alma would be aware of, because before you...
Yeah, I've only been traveling like a week and a half.
since you've been alive, you've been here.
Right.
And you enter the safe code?
Yeah.
What code do you enter?
Oh, did you think I didn't write it down, silly boy? I can't see my thoughts. Of course I wrote it down.
Hey man,
5643.
Yes.
It's 50-50.
you enter 5643. The safe opens, and inside, in an amalgamation of copper, silver, and gold pieces, you find a sum total of 8,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
So how many copper are we leaving? Like 2, 3?
No, we're not taking all of it.
How expensive was your return to this plane?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Yeah.
The love of a child is priceless, Silas.
Hey, I get it, right? I would have spent anything if I had the choice of spending. I would have spent any amount of money. I would have just liked the receipt, I guess,
Right,
you know?
that's fair.
Is
The
the
receipt
receipt-
is over here.
No, the physical receipt from...
I don't know. Check my neck. Is there anything?
Oh my god. It's so good
There a
having you
stamp?
back. No, it's fantastic. No, it's good. 7,500.
Okay.
Isn't she in Strandwick, like, securing more money?
I don't know. What if it falls
This
through?
this can't be the whole thing. Did she sound stressed, or was
No,
she doing
she
the?
said take what I need.
Yeah, I mean she's killing it up there. You know her.
How much money do you have right now?
Me?
Yeah.
I have more than enough. Let me tell you how much I've got. Oh boy, it starts with a 6.
1,000?
Sure.
Is he lying?
I don't know. Make an insight check. Give me deception or persuasion.
Natural 20.
Are you lying? Does it start with a 6?
Natural 2. It starts with a 6. I have 680 gold. And it's fine. It's fine. I can live on that. But I'm more or less mad that I had 5 digits at one point, and I went to sleep.
Right. Hang on, I have to look at something. Okay, we both take 3,000.
Hell yes.
I scoop 3,000 into my bag.
I do the same.
All right.
I leave her coppers. Like, I take only the big... the big pieces.
I think we should leave some sort of a note or an explanation at Castellanta Villa, since we can't come see him in person and be like, it worked out, yay. But
That's all it says.
right.
Yeah, we can say that while Silas and Alma are clearing out Genevieve's vault,
We left 2,000.
you left 2,000 gold pieces. Yeah, she told you to take whatever you needed.
She said to take what I need.
Yeah.
What's she gonna do?
She took what
Message
she needed.
me?
She took what she needed and she put the rest in the safe. Seems like it's fine to take all of it.
What's she gonna do? Fucking
Technically,
round
she
me?
gave the amount that was left over from the resurrection to Alma, which Alma then gave to Silas when you first met, if you'll recall.
And he left me with 0 of it.
So, while that's happening,
I imagine, like, we were all in the manor arguing. Like, just you and I were arguing, and Chula was just like, okay. Just, like, left the house. I'm gonna do the castle end, and we're still just arguing.
Yeah, we heard nothing.
Cholula, you head to Castellantra Villa and you leave a note. What does the note detail? You don't have to give me word for word, but...
It's basically just like, hey, so it worked. The hag is gone. I don't know, is it supposed to rain?
Bilious?
If there's any lightning happening, she's freaking out and looking at the windows.
Sorry, there's a dog just roaming the set. That she never does that.
That's here.
Tables.
Just sort of like, we did it, yay! I'm glad that you get to come back home. We get banished for it, so
We get banished for
We haven't-
We get banished for it.
yeah, we haven't decided where we're going,
Cool.
but we'll send you a letter when we find out if you want to get in touch with us. Does Castellan know sending or how to like use message? I know he does. He identifies shit,
I
right?
think,
He knows sending. He
Yeah.
sent a message to all he wants.
yeah.
Okay, so I'll just tell him like we'll be in the realm if he wants to send us a message.
Sending can actually go across planes, fun fact.
Oh, cool.
There's
yeah.
a chance that it won't, but it technically can.
Yeah. So I'll just tell him we don't know where we're gonna be, but feel free to contact us.
Hit us up, but we're not coming to your place, basically.
Yeah.
This message be like, you up?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Anything else or anyone else that you guys would like to...
I would like to talk to Mert.
Okay. Make an investigation check. I'm going to go ahead and actually, we'll do this in our friend here because we haven't used him yet in this.
Can we
You
go
gotta
think in an
find
episode-
him dead.
Which feels like
Yeah.
an oversight.
Well,
No,
he's
yeah.
a contract worker, so.
Alma and I are like walking out of Bramble Manor. You've completed that. We're still just like. Blah, 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 blah.
We're Muppets. We turned into Muppets.
This is going to be a
You've had
DC...
me roll a percentage before on the episodes I've watched.
Yeah. I'm going to say this is going to be a DC 20 investigation check to find Mert.
Oh, okay. I was gonna. Yeah. Yeah. It's not gonna happen. That's a 7.
7. You reach out, but none of the Harpers that you know or that are like in your sphere are aware of where he is currently, because as we all know, his headquarters moves around frequently.
Is it clear to me that you're looking?
Yeah. No, I'm like, if anything, I've probably told you guys what I'm doing. I'm like upset about.
Do you just want me to?
If you would like, yes, I would like to talk to him before we leave. It doesn't even have to be 5 minutes. I just wanted to say something.
I will
Go lay down, please.
cast sending to Mert.
Okay, what do you say?
Mert.
Thank you.
It's Alma Bramble.
Hang on. Sorry,
Right, that's fine.
I made the mistake of closing it.
Sending is a fantastic spell.
It's Alma Bramble.
It's Alma Bramble. Silas is requesting a moment of your time. Can we meet?
Sure thing. But it's gonna be quick.
Where would Mert be right now?
What?
Where would Mert be right
Oh,
That's my step dog. Chat roasted us for that one, by the way.
Did they?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, chat.
I'm actually in the neighborhood. Meet me at Steam and Steel in the next hour.
Steam and Steel was that one with the aggressive bartender, right?
No. Steam and Steel.
the-
Oh God, I wish.
This is the couple.
Steam and Steel is the armor and steel shop. It's in Troll Skull Alley, actually.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the wonderful couple that
Okay.
is like this. Gonna be like the next Pixar movie, right? It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that
Avi-
trailer is like pretty much.
Avi and something.
Yeah.
And
Waterman.
they're two different types of genasi, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fire Genasi and a Water Genasi.
Yeah.
Well, it's the next Pixar movie.
Steamy.
I'll look it up if you go inside, but as Silas, I assume you make your way in that direction.
Yeah.
You see Mert is kind of like leaned up against the alleyway to the side of it, making himself known to you clearly.
If you guys want to wait here or something, I'm just gonna take a couple seconds.
Oh, just okay.
Are there
nothing,
any, like,
nothing shady of that sort.
Basic supply shops nearby?
Like a general store?
Yeah.
Isn't it like? Are we do? Did we do a next day thing? This is like in
This
the
is over the
wee
course of
hours
2
of the
days.
morning,
We're,
right?
ki- we're
Oh,
kind
okay.
of we're kind of montaging.
Yeah, this is over the course of the next 2 days.
Cool. I was like, what the fuck time is it right now?
Yeah.
It's daytime.
We'll duck into like a general store and grab basic provisions.
Yeah, which general store do you go to?
Pete's General Goods.
Pete's General Goods.
Of course.
You make your way down to the dock ward to go to Pete's General Goods, and it's actually boarded up.
Oh,
What the?
but
And the sign is gone.
Alright. Well, we'll seek out another general store and get some basic provisions.
Are you telling us the stream is over? Is this your horrible way of doing that?
for good?
You find another general store, and what are you grabbing? Just random like provisions for the road and things.
Yeah, some dried foods, some
Wet foods.
some dry, some wet.
You get all the textures of and solidities of
All the
food.
available textures. Mostly I look at Cholula and I hold up a food and I go, huh? And then I throw it in a bag.
Yeah, if you just want to mark off,
Right.
5 gold would be like a lavish shopping spree for produce and meat.
I'd like to get maybe like a little pad of paper, like a little book of paper and some envelopes if we're gonna have to be sending regular ass letters now.
Yeah,
So that if
absolutely.
we need to, I have it.
Yeah, for sure. That'll cost you like 5 silver.
Okay.
I will ask the shopkeep, we don't have to roleplay it out, if he knows where somebody could get some diamonds.
Diamonds, huh?
Right here, you say?
Right here in my hand.
And then I punch him and I take them.
I'm just standing. Fuck, Alma.
He's like,
We do crime now. Okay.
He's like, yeah, I know a place in the seaward.
Is it just a little Mert?
Aw.
I love the idea of little Mert.
It just looks like
Give
somebody
me
took the
2
transform tool.
seconds.
The Mert I have in my head, his outfit is ridiculous. At least that's the art that I've seen.
Sorry, give me a brief moment as I look up a map of this place so I can give you a street name. Because it's super important that I do so.
Right.
Here we are. All right. Yeah, I know a place in the seaward. It's can't miss it. It's right on the corner of fucking.
Well, sir,
These are
I'm
so
a
small. Hang
customer.
on. This map is so tiny.
you can make it up. You can just make it up.
It's on the corner of Del Zorin
in Marlin Street.
Okay.
Jim's Jewels.
Jim's Jewels.
Yeah. Jim's a good guy.
Great, and he has diamonds?
Probably.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. You see anybody?
Is he cute?
No.
I'm being banished. I'm sorry. God. I've been banished.
What do you mean,
Too
no?
bad.
I thought every NPC was hot.
Not this one.
Oh no.
This one and Emic Froon are the two.
I don't know. Froon. Froon can get it.
Froon is just Wallace Shawn, 100%.
Specifically wrote in the
That's
contract.
somebody's king. That
That's
Fern cannot
somebody's
get
That
it.
is true, yeah. He's not
Okay.
bad looking man.
As soon as he showed up, we were like, Froon's not gonna get it.
So at some point, any point before we leave town, I'm gonna grab 3 1,000 gold diamonds.
I'm going to say you can find one in
Damn
2
it.
days.
1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta be some risk in this world. You sure you're getting exiled?
Sure, I'm getting what?
That ass is criminal.
Then I drop it.
He has a heart attack.
That's what the world needed.
We leave it.
Alma gets arrested again.
I learned
I
that.
didn't do that.
I learned that in court
Okay.
from a unicorn.
You impersonating a bomb.
Okay.
All right, Silas. You meet up with Mert outside of Steam and Steel. Steam pours out of the open windows.
A steamy alleyway, huh?
Seemed appropriate. I was around.
Yeah, theatrics again. How's it been?
Well, it's been better. Obviously, I saw you glance. I think we both know. Listen, I did what I could. You know, took a while to convince. I don't even know who the fuck they are, but it took a while to convince the 7th member to come over to the banishment side from death. But we got there. Better than losing you all together, I guess.
I'm gonna need another favor from you. I take it as you want to hear it.
I'd like to.
I want work again. I want to hear the harp sing. However that can happen. I don't know where I'll be, but I can make contact with whoever you have there.
Yeah. You got plans? Know where you're headed?
I don't know who that is. You know it. It's Jalil. I'm sorry.
There were those guys we talked to. We were
Yeah.
gonna tell them that we talked to them, and I forgot.
Forget about it.
Fucking gabagool.
That's fucking a I'm not entirely sure. We talked about Strandwick. We talked about Chill Run. There's some goings on
Right.
in Chill
Well,
Run.
you won't work, as I understand it. Your last job still ain't been finished.
Precisely.
And I'll be honest, we're running dry on leads. But I do know, especially after the truth bombs, I think you called them, you dropped. These people got their little fingers in everything. I reckon just about any major hole you could find, a chapter, something. So, you want work? I can wire you money. Find out what this prophecy is. What's the weapon?
How do
If you
want
can, get your hands on it before they do.
How do
If
you
they
want it
haven't
sent to
already.
you? Anything I find.
What?
How do you want it sent to you? Anything I find. The old way or a new way?
He takes out a little slip of parchment and a quill that's just kind of like resting in his pocket, scratches down an address onto it, hands it over to you.
Send it here, and it'll find its way to me. Discreetly.
I can't recommend the Order of Heralds enough. They are a wonderful guild, very discreet.
All right. That's it then.
Yeah, well,
Looks at a sundial.
You gotta face north.
One of my sundial.
I got places to be, and
There's a lot of shade.
I look forward to seeing what you find.
You'll probably be hearing from me sooner than you think.
I hope so.
Kind of like gives you the pat on the shoulder. A little harder than it should be. More of a push almost. And without a goodbye, just mingles in with the crowds on the street until he's out of sight. Anything else? Anyone else?
I think that's all the stuff I have.
On your last night, or rather, your last evening, before it's time to go, you're packing up the last of your things at the Feast and Fountain, and two figures appear. The first of which is the familiar form of, now familiar form, of Magister Talbin Twinborn. And he comes with a number of small pouches, which he hands over to you, Cholula. Well, I did everything I could, and we managed to get you 14,683 gold pieces. It's in platinum here for you, for ease of carrying, but by the likes of your bag, probably won't be a problem. Should be a good way to, set yourself up with a new keep. Hell, invest a bit, maybe get yourself a nice little castle. Good luck.
Who'd it go to, if you don't mind me asking?
The original proprietor. And he turns, and
Just a ghost.
you see as Volothamp Godard
Volo!
approaches. Godard,
Yeah.
I have missed you.
Oh, Volo.
What's my name?
You're Silas.
Okay, good. I've missed
You
you
didn't.
too.
Hey, you didn't even know it when we first met.
I know,
Remember that?
I know.
That was.
Yeah, that was a joke about memory.
Drops a bottle and it breaks on the doorstep.
Oh,
Okay.
God. Wow.
Well, I'll have you know, Volo's Guide to Spirits and Spectres was a smash success. Wonderful hit. And I've managed not to drink all of it away yet. I had enough left over to procure this lovely, lovely building back. And is the Spectre still residing here?
No.
So they can pass on.
I'm going to have to revise that chapter. Second edition, here we come. He takes some notes.
In all seriousness, it's been too long since I've seen you, and it sounds as if it may be longer still until I see you again. But don't get too down, because Volothamp Godard is nothing if not an adventurer in his own right and such. So I'm sure we shall meet again on the road, and I'm only a message away should you ever need my assistance or just want to get together and have a nice handful of drinks.
That sounds great.
I'm glad that the tavern is going to you.
Well,
And whoever you decide to hire to run it.
yes, it will be functioning. I will be staying away from the bald one.
Yes. And McFru.
Bruise, yes. The one with the... I tried that fountain.
Flat.
Room temperature.
Absolutely awful. Room temperature. Flat as all hell.
Before we left and all that, back when it was still over there, I saw somebody pee in it.
Into the fountain.
Into the fountain.
And
How
it
long ago?
definitely
What day was
wasn't
this?
me. I would never.
No, they had
You know,
other equipment.
I don't know that he ever stopped and cleaned it before he went out of business. It was like a constant flow. Can you imagine having some sort of liquid in motion, and when it gets low, you just add more? Perpetually. Disgusting. Absolutely atrocious.
Yes. Some say it's still running today.
Now,
No.
might I suggest that there are other liquids that might be better suited? Chocolate is one of them.
Chocolate. I've seen a cheese move like you wouldn't
How would
believe.
you? I guess you.
We know where you can find lots of cheese.
So much sewer cheese,
Sewer cheese.
I think.
That sounds.
It's
Interesting.
it's an ideal place, when it's not near the sewer part.
See.
The cheese likes it.
You know, I have heard a bit of tell from our mutual friend Renee that perhaps, not perhaps, that you've been doing some adventuring outside of the country even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. He said you're going by the moniker the Mistwalkers.
That's right. Write that down.
Excellent. I was actually going to say, would you be opposed to perhaps sending a missive here and there? Moments of intrigue in your travels, and perhaps I could be a bit of a chronicler of your tale.
We
Oh,
could,
yes, that
yeah, we
sounds
could do
fun.
that. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Excellent. Of course, I shall send the manuscript to you before it is published to get your final.
I was going to suggest that you go to Mistinor. There are things there that I don't think anyone can explain if they tried.
Really?
Wild place.
He takes another note. Mr. Intriguing. I may have to hop aboard a boat.
Okay.
I do not.
We have been bested in the goodbyes, I think.
Yeah, Magister Twinborn has left at this point.
He gave up when the bottle smashed on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, I would have been remiss if I did not come by and say my adieus and goodbyes and the other languages that we have.
I do. No,
I do. Yes.
Ooh.
Well, good luck, Polo.
Good- yeah.
Good
Yes,
luck.
and good luck to you.
We've learned everything that we do from you, honestly.
that.
Don't write that
Just
in
a
your
couple
book.
of chips off the old block.
Yeah. Just a couple of chips.
Just a couple of chips. I remember a shout of chips on the day we met. Sprinkled all over the floor.
No, that's good. That's wonderful. We really have to go.
Yeah, we'll get
And you're-
arrested
Oh,
if
yes,
we
the
stay any
sun
longer.
is beginning to set.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. Shall I walk you to the gate?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, what the fuck else are we going to do? Huh? He's in the way of the door, so yeah.
And Volo, though he talks your ear off, he does carry a couple of bags for you. Do you guys still have a cart and horses?
Yeah.
Something like
Cool, I'll take your word for it.
We brought them. We brought them on the boat,
that. Yeah.
and then
But
we
then-
rode them into town,
And then
and then
rode
we
them
went to the
through-
feast and fountain, and then
Perfect,
they were
perfect.
like, "We're under arrest."
True, yes.
That's exactly what happened.
Your
Excellent.
horses are murderers.
You retrieve-
Oh, that would have been fun. We go, no, not us.
the horses did it.
We did talk to a horse that one time.
That's true.
My God,
Excellent spy. So,
Talk to a horse.
Volo escorts you basically to your carriage before he realizes that even Volo realizes that he would be imposing to climb up on your carriage to see you
No,
out.
Polo, come with us.
He says a sorrowful but heartfelt goodbye, and the Mistwalkers gather atop their wagon and set out from Waterdeep.
We bounce it out.
But just before you can,
Voodoo style.
bounce it out, doodoo style. But before you leave, as you're approaching the gates, a strange figure approaches. A young, haggard-looking Aarakocra with a rounded head, a small, downturned beak, and grayish feathers that are more of like a greenish purple iridescence around the neck. He wears a blue uniform with a cropped jacket with a copper chain that dangles from the collar to the shoulder loop of the jacket. Delivery for Miss Jewel Duvet.
Oh, that's me.
So sorry for the delay that I missed you at your fountain feast.
Rough tides on the Sea of Squalls.
Oh.
Here, this is for you.
Oh.
Don't make excuses. It's unbecoming of an officer.
Right. Yes, sir. we aim
Like wax seal and shit.
we aim to please and strive to deliver. Good day. Bah! And he, like, wings flare out as he gives the thumbs up and the official salute of the Order of Heralds and flies away from you.
How we keep getting bested on goodbyes. We've gone soft.
We've got to double down. We've got to get more awkward.
Can you drive for a minute, please?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot of words over there.
Cholula, I fear Wellington and I are still searching for our missing kin. Our investigators have been informative, but ultimately everyone seems to have scattered beyond where Wellington had left them for various reasons. There was one more lead that we have yet to look into, but Welly, he hates when I call him that, serves him right, seems hesitant. I've finally convinced him that it's time we search for Cherry. We made part in Grimdall.
Port.
Oh, Port.
Sorry, my handwriting is awful.
And the Verfolgen Prefecture, and are set to head south through the Whistlebloom Woods. Welly's been more dodgy than usual, but I was finally able to at least get a name for the town where he headed to. If it's truly as dire as it seems to think it'll be, I figured I should let you know in case we don't make it back. I look forward to our future family reunion, but for now, your brothers are headed for a place called Borka. Oh, fuck. Well wishes, Pippin. P.S. Welly was really opened up in his own way. I wish he'd let me pitch in more in scraps and fights. I keep having to remind him that despite how quiet I can be, I am also here. Classic Pippin. Fuck, they're heading to Borka.
Dude,
How do you even get there?
it's not on a... It doesn't exist anymore. Correct?
I
On-
mean,
on this
it's not on a
plane.
map.
Also, Cholula, you notice it's not on the letter that I gave you, but the letter is dated
Okay.
about a 10-day and a half ago.
I think I know how to get to Polka.
And on that, we're going to end tonight's session.
Fuck, I don't like that last sentence.
But before we go, we have one more giveaway to announce.
Yeah, it's not here.
Thank you all so much for entering the giveaway. And yeah, we love doing these because we love to know that the people who are watching us play are also playing at home. It's very important to us, and
Yeah.
we like it.
Because we can play without streaming. But if we're going to stream, we're going to make sure that other people can play.
Yeah. So, without further ado,
Oh,
Do it, Cameron.
the winner of the Fable Fire Dreams and Desire dice is
Hell Bell 666!
Congratulations, Hellbell666, on your new lovely set of Fable Fire dice.
You did it.
They're beautiful.
And thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Well, we did it. We're exiled.
We did it. We've been banished,
Goodbye forever, Waterdeep.
but we're back.
that's what I call a closed gaming license.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Yeah.
We'll be back here, same great time, same great place, next Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/
Exclamation point survey.
Arcanarama. Type exclamation point survey in the chat to go to our survey to give us feedback on how we can make the stream better for your viewing eyeballs and ears.
And your earballs.
And maybe your mouth if you kiss the screen.
And
I
your mouth
kissed
balls.
the screen.
And your mouth balls.
Eyeballs. Earballs.
Your balls.
Your mouth balls are the dice that you're juggling in your mouth.
Please don't. They're resin.
Also, if you're a newer viewer and you're like, this was fun, but what the fuck is going on? Go to youtube.com/@Arcanarama, and we've got our entire campaign up until now. All 51 episodes of it now are on YouTube. Well, episode 51's not because we're on Twitch right now. But on Tuesday, it'll go live at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. and you'll have access to it then. Or if you want to subscribe to us here on Twitch, you can have access to it immediately. If you want to watch it again. I think that's all the things I'm supposed to say.
I think so.
So thank you guys
It's been so long.
much for tuning in. We'll catch all of you in the next episode. But until then, stay safe.
Stay safe out there, adventurers.
Do you have some?